Howdy, howdy.
Good morning. How are you?
I am doing good. Oh, we already got people in the chat.
I know it's going off.
It
Welcome,
is.
everyone.
Welcome, everybody. Wow. Well, we made it back to another Sunday, or Lindy's Monday, the future
Yeah.
Sunday.
Unfortunately, we're down to two today. Poor Michael's not feeling the best. So we love you, Michael, and hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, he's still wrestling with his back stuff, but I think he did say that his eye infection went away, so that's good. I think
Yeah.
he's on the mend, and he'll be back giving me a really hard time with bad pictures
I
any day.
know. I'm so bummed I didn't save the baby pictures to my computer.
There is a silver lining. Watch Michael hear this and start DMing you pictures.
I don't know. He may submit, whatever that word is, do
Subliminally.
it. Yeah, that's a word. There may be something happening soon. We'll see.
That's awesome. Did you do anything fun this week?
Not really. No, just every day is the same. It's just gloomy. I woke up this morning and blue sky, and I was so happy. Got up, had a shower, did a few things, and by the time had all these plans, I was going to go and do some sausage, like some hamburgers in the smoker during the stream, and it's all cloudy again now, freezing cold, and yeah, I fell into a slump again. I'm just up against that sun. So looking forward to summer. But
Australia is only doing that to you because it knows you lost 500 pounds and now it's torturing you. So they're
oh,
making you cold.
I'm feeling the cold so much. I've never felt this cold before. I've actually got my little heater going on down here, and I've even had my t-shirt on because I thought it was going to be nice outside, but no, it's cold again. Melbourne weather.
Oh, wow. Oh, you
Mm.
know what? I forgot to look up. I got to look up a website. Hold on. Sorry. I should be more prepared.
Oh, what website's this?
The Hack Your Health website. And I forget to pull up that web address to put it in here.
Oh, you got some exciting news about Hack Your Health, which is in Florida, Tampa next year, November. Is
I
that
do.
right? Yeah, but I won't say anything. I'll let you spoil the news.
No worries. I just got to get the website so I can post it in here for people because I keep forgetting. There it is. All right. Yeah, so it's crazy, but we are SBG gang. Everybody that can make it is going to be on a panel there, including me. Believe it or not, I don't know what you guys want me to talk about, but I'm going to be there. But at any rate, if you
You're
want
going to
to,
be up on stage. Yeah.
yeah, that's going to be a nightmare. They don't know how long I'll talk. I'll use up the whole hour. uh,
Um,
but here's the address. But what I was going to tell everybody is that the coupon code is Carnivore, all capital letters, and that gets you $100 off right now. So this is the cheapest the tickets will be, and I believe it's after. I don't know, to be honest, but I heard that it could be 30 to 60 days. After 30 to 60 days, then it's only $50 off, and then after a while, it goes to $25 off. So, if you guys would like to purchase tickets, now is the best time to do it with that coupon code. The coupon code is Carnivore, all capital letters, and that'll save you $100 on tickets. And I'm going to be posting that because I don't want there to not be anybody in the crowd. They'll never invite me back again. Or
a one-time deal, hey?
yeah,
You
well,
get to get up and tell a few jokes while you're up there.
I might need to. I might be telling them to myself. So,
Yeah.
yeah, if you guys
Uh,
are wanting to go to Florida, Tampa, it's in November. I think it's like right around the 23rd. No, when was it? I don't remember when it is. It's the end of November. I know that.
yeah, it's normally 3 days, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
three
if I
days
can make it this year, but I'll definitely give it a try if I can.
for sure. There we go. And so yeah, I wanted to put that out there. And then today, yeah, I was making burgers today. It was I was so hungry today, or wanting something a little bit different, and I made some smoky burgers last week, and I like they were good. I like to mix bacon with the burgers, but usually I air fry them, which helps cook the bacon down quicker because it's higher temperature. But I like smoky bacon burgers, and that's a lower temperature, so it's harder to get the bacon to cook. So I need to break the bacon down better than I could with a knife. So I went and got a meat grinder, and I made these beautiful 33% bacon and 66% brisket burgers. And man, those things worked out good, smoky burgers. And of course, I added jalapenos to them because I'm addicted. Those things turned out really nicely, actually.
Yeah, and I love the color as well, the smoker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
they're
I,
beautiful.
I found a new button on the smoker that says super smoke setting. And I'm like,
Oh,
yeah. And so it just douses that thing. So the last hour I had them in there I put them in 225 for about 3 hours. And the last hour it was in there, I put it on the super smoke setting and it got pretty crazy.
oh, okay. Mine's not that fancy. I don't have many buttons on mine, but it still does the job. So
For
no,
sure.
very happy with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they're a game changer for sure. I love them,
Yeah, I'm
Super.
doing a roast lamb. So we'll put it on later on this afternoon, or yeah, about lunchtime, and it should be ready for dinner. So my
Ooh,
daughter is coming over for dinner, and she's like, "Mum, can we have a smoked lamb?" I'm like, "Okay, awesome."
that sounds
So
delicious.
yeah, looking forward to that. I'll definitely send you a photo.
I'm gonna need one. Yeah, now's a good time because I'm repriming for the next well, till the end of next week. So I have
Nice.
another week, and I'll have primed for that'll make about 3 weeks. I'll reprime for 3 weeks. Which I'm gonna be honest with you, I got to do a way better job. Because yesterday I got busy and only had 6 meat sticks yesterday for all day,
Yeah.
and it gets hard when you get busy. And right now I just don't have an appetite, so that's why I went back to adding bacon in because I was just like not feeling the meat right now, and so I added made some sausage and added the jalapenos and bacon back in. That did the trick though, and I
Yeah.
started eating cheese again. For that is a beautiful hack if you don't have an appetite. Put the dairy back in.
Yeah. Now I've been struggling to eat meat more so from the lap band. Just every now and then I get it everything gets stuck. So I've been having eggs, sardines, and butter, living off that, and I mash it all up like baby food, and it looks pretty disgusting, but it tastes okay. Oh,
Right.
you're
Sorry,
ringing.
my phone. I thought I had my ringer off. This is why I know better to not do that. There we go.
So yeah, that's what I'm currently living off at the moment, and until I can get meat down again. But I do miss chewing meat, and yeah, just not happening right now for me.
Right. And it's weird how that just hits you all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't know, just I don't know, stressed out, I guess. And then it comes good, and then I can eat a whole steak, and I'm like, where'd that come from? Why can't I do this every day? It's crazy.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and I can't imagine it with that restrictions too. That's got to be super tough. I have a hard time keeping an appetite all the time without any restrictions. So that's got to be tough.
Oh, hi, Simpson. Pearls of wisdom. Hopefully, we've got some for you.
Well, it's
Ask your
it's
questions. Yeah.
it's something for sure. I don't know that I call it wisdom, but maybe pontificating.
Hi,
Howdy,
Dan
howdy.
Kiwi.
Oh,
Oh,
there you
hi,
go.
Anna from Perth.
Anna's come to see you.
Another Aussie in the house. Oi, oi, oi.
We're getting overtaken, I think. There's
We
more
need more
Aussies
Aussies. Yeah,
for
there's
sure.
not many Aussie carnivores. I haven't found many of them. So, yeah, it's good to have some more Aussies here.
It is. I wish my screen would stop freaking out. I hate this background. It just wigs out all the time.
Just sit there like a mannequin.
I know. I don't know why it's doing it. I'm gonna try something with the lighting. Maybe it'll go away. Oh, that made
making
it
it worse.
way worse. Maybe that'll make it better. I don't know.
It's sympathy snow for me because it's so cold down here.
Trying to make it better.
Hi, barking squirrel.
Hey, Barkin. Let's see. All right. Yeah, let us know in the chat too, or if you guys are who else going to Hack Your Health this year, or who's interested, who thinks they might run in there. And then, I was going to mention too, on Thursdays now, I'm doing a live stream about kind of men's health, because that's men's mental health. And because that's been kind of surprising, but that's what I get. 80% of the messages to me are about men's mental health. So we are doing a live stream to kind of get get a group going, and then on Saturdays we are doing a Zoom call in the SBG and trying to get some people, men over there and veterans, because Chad at Combat Carnivore is also uh, doing that live stream on Thursdays, and also he's a guest speaker in the Zoom calls at SBG with me on, because he cured. He's a combat veteran. He cured PTSD with Carnivore, and that is really interesting to me. So I'm finding out. I'm on here mainly for weight, but it also cured depression, and anxiety, and so I thought most people would be getting a hold of me about weight, but it turns out more people are actually affected. More men are affected by the depression and anxiety. They're fat too, don't get me wrong. It's just that they don't care because we're dudes and we don't care as much about being fat. But the anxiety and the depression and the PTSD, that's what's plaguing them much worse. And so I was thinking long and hard about what to do with that. And I was like, I can tell them that they need to do carnivore and that'll lift. But I also remember being there, and unless you have a good path to being successful on carnivore and a good community, they don't stay on carnivore long enough to receive kind of the mental clarity and the hormone balance and eat the fat. So I do think the best shot at getting these people to clear up, some of the depression, anxiety, and PTSD and anything else that they might have going on is to get in a community. So that's why I moved the meeting to SBG, because I've been trying this a year now to give people help through like Instagram and emails and kind of one-on-one. And whenever somebody's not in a community, it doesn't go very well, because, they only talk to me for an hour or two a week. And then the rest of the time they're in the world where there's no support system, and everybody's telling them that that's crazy, to think that meat can heal those things. So kind of trying to shift it there. Interested what you guys think, or if you have anybody that could benefit from that, let us know for sure.
And my husband joined the meeting as well, which was really good. So it was nice for him, because I think he does feel like SBG, there's a lot of women in the group, and there's a lot of men too, but I think he feels like it's just all women, and it's not. So having these men's meetings has been really good, and he actually loved it, hanging with the bros, talking men's stuff. I think he enjoyed it. So, yeah.
I know. I was talking in the chew, and a nice lady said, I think it's great that you're doing this men's meeting. It gives men a safe space to talk about men's mental health. I was like, whoa. I said, stop that. You cannot call it a safe space, or none of the dudes will show up. You gotta ditch that whole.
No, it's all about the bro house. Yeah, the bro club.
Right, exactly. It's like,
yeah.
None of
the girls love to chat, and we all get together and we have a chinwag, and it's all pretty good for us girls. But the men, they're all very butch and don't want to talk, and so it's good to have that place where you can hang out. And
well, yeah, let me give you an example of what this is going to be like, because this is the culture that I want to create a little bit in there, right? That I think this is what you like. Say what you want, but this is what real guys that I've been around in my whole life in construction are like, right? And so Chad, Chad's a master black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and he cage fights. And Chad's like, I'm sorry, Todd, but I can't make next Saturday because I'm going to be in a cage fight that I committed to, a couple months ago, and I'm the main ticket, so I have to fight. And I said, Chad, not only are you still going to be on the call, you're going to broadcast your cage fight into the Zoom call, because we're going to watch, because this is bros night.
Exactly. I was going to say, what? You got to be filming that. It should be on the live.
I know. And so he's going to have his corner He's gonna have his corner, put the phone on the cage so that we can watch him roll on.
You're ringing again.
My phone's ringing again. So we can watch him roll. And so I was laughing, going, "This is gonna be perfect." So anyhow, as long as as long as this fight goes on, I was like, "Yeah, this is the most perfect thing. We should be doing stuff like that. We should. This is bros night." So we want that kind of over the top energy going on, So it's gonna be kind of funny.
Well, I'm sorry, but I want to be part of that. I want to come and
Well,
watch him cage fight too. So
for sure. And yeah, all the women are definitely welcome to come to the meetings. But just what we're telling them is that this is a men's health meeting from the perspective of men that dealt with this stuff. And so it's probably going to be blunt, and it's not going to be very gentle, but it's in no way like disenfranchising the women or anything. It's just not a women's meeting, right? But women are welcome to come, and they should bring their husbands, or if their husbands are suffering with it and they think, like I much did over a year ago, that communities and meetings like this are stupid and for weak people.
yeah.
You can leave it open while they listen to it, because I think they might find it funny, right?
Yeah. And we do have women's chats, which is exclusively for women as well. So it's for both. I mean, what's good for one is good for the other. So I love it.
For sure. 100%. 100%. So yeah, that's what especially with all the meetings that they're getting together. I mean, they have priming meetings, fasting meetings, troubleshooting meetings, sugar addiction meetings. They have NSV meetings. They have open chats every day. We have men's open chat on Saturdays. We have men's only meetings, women's only meetings, and then men's health meetings, and just tons of meetings. And also the expert calls where Dr. Hampton, Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Chafee, those guys come in. And so as that happens, I mean, that's why I was like, people, if to try to help people, I'm going to have to get them into a community, because it's too hard. I have yet to have one person that wasn't in a community that made it on Carnivore. They always, that we talk for 3 weeks or a month, and then they don't make it. And it's just, I really think it's because they just like you had trouble, Lindy, when you kind of came back after Texas, and then you got busy in that world. As soon as you go away from your YouTube world and away from these communities, and you go out in the real world, the propaganda and the the dogma out there is so thick that they'll just it's really hard if you're just trying to do it 1 hour a week, and you're trying to use that hour a week of talking with one dude and you're trying to go out there and face the rest of your environment that is completely against it. Where if you're in a community that has NSVs and you get to see 100 people every Friday talk about, this is totally working, I lost X amount of weight, I lost the healed up this, I'm walking again, this pain went away, the cravings went away, then it starts to be more than just another fad diet that you're throwing a Hail Mary pass at, hoping that it works.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely been a struggle for me the last few months, being in Texas and around so many carnivores. Like they were just everywhere, and then came home to nothing. And then with all the running around after my daughter and her medical issues, I haven't been going to meetings as much, and I really fell off the wagon. 2 years 9 months, strong as, and suddenly everything just fell in a heap. And it's been a struggle to stay and get back on track. I'm now back in the meetings, and I'm finding things a lot easier now. You underestimate the power of being in a community, for sure.
100%. Yeah. It is so much easier. It is so much easier when it just it makes, well, I don't know. I mean, even in the Bible, it says to meditate on these things, and because you got to change your mind. And that's really all it is what you put your mind into and what you have faith in. Yeah. And if you don't really believe it, because, which I didn't believe it when I first started, I was in a really rough spot, so I didn't think that it could it was a Hail Mary. It was a last ditch effort, but I didn't think that it was going to work either. But I was in a sick enough place that I didn't have any other options, so I did it, and it
And
did
I
work.
was embarrassed as well. Like I didn't want to appear on camera and look at people and have people look at me. So I love the fact that I could actually go into these Zoom meetings with my camera off. And for the first year, I didn't have my camera on at all, and just sat and listened to the meetings. I didn't raise my hand, didn't want to draw any attention to myself, but I was still welcome. I felt like it was a safe space, and I just sat there and I just consumed all this content and just learnt and listened to everyone, and that just kept me motivated. And then reached out to Emily Raymond. They were the first ones to see me. Started the coaching with them, and then a year later, here I am. Camera on, being a part of the community. I would be the last person to actually join a community and put myself out there. So
For sure.
it's been so helpful and continues to be helpful. That's why I'm successful, that I lose that community and I go backwards.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel it too, and that's that's why I've really thought about this quite a bit. I'm like, why? I don't even know how to put this exactly, but like, not only have I been extremely successful on Carnivore, and I'm not comparing it to like other people's success. I'm just comparing it to like the last 26 years of everything else I've tried, and my health has been such a success, and I have haven't struggled with it. I've had struggles like plateaus and cramps and some fatigue and little things, and I crashed my metabolism now twice. So I had these bumps in the road, but what I'm talking about is like cravings or going back to old habits or old mindset. I really have not had those issues at all, and
Mm.
I know that that's unusual. I know that I'm an outlier in that, and but I wonder why that is. And one of the things that I think it is that I have a really all or nothing personality. Like I'm either in things 110% or I don't do them at all. Like I always end up getting in trouble because I don't moderate in anything, including
Yeah.
whatever I'm doing. So that means that I went all in on like SBG and calls and the chat and these videos and Thursday videos and thinking about it day and night and trying to yeah, trying to read and listen to as many books. But that really took all my attention. So all my focus turned to Carnivore because it's working, right? And my body's
Yeah.
healing. And so because I've stayed in that, I think that that's why I've, I think that's why I just don't have any cravings because I'm so deep into this community and I have such a good community.
Yeah. Keeps you focused, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. When I wasn't attending the meetings, I did become a bit complacent. Like I know how to lose weight now. I've done it. I've lost 500 pounds. I know I've got all the tools. One's not going to hurt because I get people all the time saying, "Oh, you can have some fruit and veg. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to hurt you." Well, it did. Just having that few little vegetables. I did open up a little bit and have a bit of keto, and that did throw me and literally under the bus. And it's been a struggle to get back on track. And
100%.
you come a little bit more complacent. You think you listen to these people. Yeah, one's not going to hurt you, but it may not for some. Some people can moderate and do all that. Fine, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. But for me, I need to keep it super strict. Otherwise, it's a big spiral for me. And I
Right.
refuse to go back to where I was. But thankfully, I've got all the tools that I need. I know how I can lose it. I have gained a little bit of weight and I'm going to lose it and I'm going to continue losing more. And I know what I need to do. So, yeah,
For sure.
community definitely is going to help me with that. So.
100%. Oh, let's see. I guess we got some started comments here. There you go.
Lindy, I finally made the decision to get my lap band removed. Just have to wait 12 months so insurance kicks in. Can't wait. So sick of it. I'm envious. How long have you had your lap band in for? Mine's been in over 27 years, so I'm kind of nervous about it. But yeah, I'd love to hear more about your journey and how it all goes because it's something I'm thinking about doing as well, but very nervous.
For sure.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll watch for that too. Worrying sounds like a start of an eating disorder. I'd be devoted if all I ate was meat and I couldn't eat it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it is like I've got a lot of stress going on in my life, and then when you can't eat, you start to worry about, oh, I'm not getting enough food in, I'm not getting my nourishment, and then you get tired, and all the it's just like it all escalates. Yeah, it's a pain. But I'm actually eating a lot of sardines, eggs, and butter at the moment, so getting my nourishment in, and I'm not limiting at all. Like some will call it an egg fast or a sardine fast or whatever. I'm just calling it an egg prime, sardine
Right.
prime. I'm eating as much as I can just to get the nourishment in, and hopefully I'll get to the point where I can start eating meat and actually keep it down again. Because I'm watching Todd eating his hamburger before, and I was like, oh, I just want to eat it. I'll take one bite and then that's it. Throw up. I just can't eat it. It's awful.
For sure.
Lap bands are a curse. Don't do it. If you're considering it, don't go there.
Yeah, don't do any of those or the
No.
GLP-1 inhibitors.
Oh, carnivore all the way.
Yeah, at least try it for 6 months. Like really try it before you do that to yourself. Because I mean, Lindy, my sister, my mother, all are suffering the consequences from the bariatric surgeries, and I keep watching it going, man, that is.
And obviously Anna as well. She's having her lap band removed. I'm so proud of you for making that decision. And yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see. I've been walking and light exercise. That's easy to manage every day. Gives me rapid results. Yeah, it does. A lot better results.
Guess what I did?
What's that?
I've got an Apple iWatch, and it counts my steps. I'm so excited. So now I'm going to try and increase my steps every day, because obviously being very sedentary, I'm in the house all the time. So I think I got to 2,900 steps in my house yesterday. So today I'm going to try and get over that. So every day I'm going to increase and work my way up to my 10K steps. But how's that?
That's
I've
awesome.
only had it one day, so.
That's awesome, though.
So it's got all these little toys on there. I have to learn how to use it now. So I'm going to binge watch YouTube later and learn what else I can do with it.
I know I think there's a bunch more that you can do with it, but right now mine's just really mouthy, and it makes me mad. It's like time to start moving. So basically,
I love that, because it makes me get off my chair. And I was standing on my vibration plate just earlier this morning. I'm like, when it tells me to stand up, I'm going to get up and just stand on my vibration plate, and for 15 minutes, because I do just sit here and I just keep working. But now it reminds me, no, get up, and that's going to be my new trigger when that goes on my vibration plate, except during this live stream.
I don't like to be bossed around, so I get mad. I'm like, who are you calling fat, you little son?
Yeah, no, I'm going to love it. I'm actually loving it already. So I've got all these plans and things going in my head just to get movement in, because that's so important. I need to strengthen up. So
that's awesome. Michael is still sick. Question. He's been sick for a while. Hope he's doing better. He was actually on last week. He's doing better, but he has a back injury, and so some days are better than others, and he's trying to heal it up, and he's got kind of a sciatic nerve problem right now. So on days that his nerve is cooperating, he can get around, but on days that he can't, he's got to lie flat. And I offered, that we would still like to listen to him give me a hard time lying flat. That'd be kind of funny, but he doesn't want to do it. So
yeah,
for sure. No. So yeah, we're all praying for Michael, and he's healing up though. He said that some things are getting better for him, so he's just gotta heal up for a while. And he's had this problem once before, he said, and unfortunately it's just kind of a long process. I think he said it took like a year before it totally went away last time. So it's just it's going to take some steps. But now he's carnivore too. So my first ever meetup yesterday, Charlotte, North Carolina, met your SBG coach, Amy. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Yeah, she's lovely.
That's so cool. Yeah,
she told me about the meetup. I think Dr. Wiedemann was there.
Yeah, and I
So
think Kelly Hogan was there. I saw Kelly
yeah,
there.
but apparently Dr. Wiedemann said that she was going to join one of the chews. So she's going to come into one of the chews.
That's awesome. That's super
So
cool.
yeah,
That's way cool.
I think
Can't
she's
wait.
coming in for an expert panel as well next month in SBG as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's gonna be
So
huge.
yeah,
Nice. All right. Question, Todd. If I join SBG Gang, should I do it at the start of the month, or does it not matter? Like if I join now, will I get a month starting from now and going forward about 30 days? I think that they do. Don't they do a? I think you get the month and a half, don't you, or whatever?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you get like the month and a half. But yeah, I would jump in anytime, and then if it does charge you for a second month or whatever, just email them and they'll make it right for sure. That Jeff's really good at that. So but yeah,
yeah. I love to just like if you join now and just listen to the meetings. There's a lot of information. It does feel like a little bit of information overload. So if you just get in there, find your feet, listen to how it all works, and you can actually watch the playbacks. So go to the start of the month and watch all the playbacks. And then if you want to go ahead with the challenge, you can start fresh next month, knowing everything. I think that's a really good plan. Yeah. But if you start on the first day and then listen to all the information, it's like, where do I start? It could be a bit overwhelming.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. That's a great idea, Todd. That's been the biggest way for me is my mental health. I just finished the last week of getting off meds. Oh, that's awesome for depression, anxiety, and changing over 16 months. Congratulations.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, and it works, right? And it's just like I've had like 3 friends in the last 2 years commit suicide, and they're on all those medicines, and they're not helping. And people that keep people, our hormones and our mental health is so wrapped up in our gut health, and people don't realize it. And now all this stuff that's going on keeps causing these gut issues and gastroparesis, especially those. Those Ozempic drugs and stuff are really causing gastric paralysis or whatever, gut paralysis. And I think that's going to have absolutely catastrophic, you know, mental health problems with people. And I just think that because I had a friend that always had gut issues and was on medicine for it and ended up committing suicide because the medicines for her gut health made her so depressed. So it's really crazy how that works. And yeah, that's why I love SBG's priming, carnivore priming and fasting program because the priming really helps your gut, but so does fasting, letting your gut rest. It's just so dang healing. It's crazy, And I didn't even know that you could treat, and most people don't. Like the vast majority of people don't even know you can get rid of a lifetime of depression in a short period of time with just diet and fixing your gut health. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Let's see here. That's why I appreciate that you started the Meat Sisters group, Lindy. It's so helpful to have a community. That's awesome.
Yeah. So this is nice to have a safe space to chat. And it's a great little community. Everyone's so friendly. I don't do much in there because everyone's holding hands, and it's a really nice little sisterhood, if you like. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do either of you know much about molecular hydrogen water? I have no clue what that is even.
No, I never heard of it. I have a filter in my fridge. That's about as fancy as I get.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't had anything but San Pellegrino and Topo Chico in about a year now. So I don't even hardly drink regular water anymore. It's probably not the best, but it's what I'm just addicted to the cold water out of the fridge in the glass bottles.
Oh, 15 years lap band. Okay. Yeah, I'd love to connect with you and tell me how it all goes and what they did to test it to make sure. I'm scared there's scar tissue. So do they check all of that before they do surgery? That's something I'd love to know.
For sure.
That's my biggest fear. Yeah.
Yeah. A friend of mine told me about a private clinic which only does bariatric, or must be only does bariatric
Does. Yeah.
surgery. So that made me feel better about doing the surgery because I know, and they know what they're doing for sure. That's awesome. Yeah, that's got to be that's got to be a good sign, and it'd be interesting how many of those they've undone and what they have to say about it. That would be a fun statistic to know, is how many people get those done and how many people have them reversed really good in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, so on and so forth.
How good would it be to just to sit down and eat a whole steak and not have any issues? Maybe a dream come true.
Todd, are you still fasting? You were doing you were going to try a 40-day fast. Just wondering how it's going. Lindy, finally got my vibration plate. Only had it a couple of days, but liking it. Awesome.
Oh, congrats. Yeah, I love my plate.
For sure. No, I stopped the fast only after 6 days, which was terrible. Last 2 weeks ago today, actually, on a Sunday. And that was because, lo and behold, my best laid plans for the biggest fast, and I didn't even make it my normal 7 days. And the reason why, I think, was because the 2 weeks before I was in Wyoming and I got off my schedule, and I also had done a 7-day fast on a short 3-day refeed. But whatever it was, and I don't know what it was, that's what I assumed that it was. But whatever it was, it tanked my metabolism starting on day 5. And luckily, I know what that feels like now because I'm a pro at knowing what a tanked metabolism feels like. And so, long story short, it started with the chills, which is what happens when your basal metabolic rate slows down to a crawl. And so I got the chills, but I was giving it time to let it see if it would go away. And then the next morning, I woke up and I was dizzy. And so that was a second sign. And then I was having a hard time putting together. I was having brain fog, basically. And I was having a hard time stringing together articulate sentences. So that wasn't helping. And then I was also just cold and tired. I'd slept like 11 hours, which is highly unusual for me. And I woke up and felt like I could sleep all day. So I was like, okay, well, that's a telltale sign that my metabolism's in the tank. That was on Saturday. I'm like, well, if I wake up in the morning and I feel like this, then I'm going to pull the plug. I woke up in the morning, slept like 9 hours that night, was still super tired, woke up freezing to the bone. And I was like, okay, it's time to eat. So now that was 2 weeks ago. Haven't done any fasting since because I'm doing a 3-week reprime, which is why I have this giant pile of steak burgers in front of me because I have to
So
reprime.
beautifully presented too.
I know I'm getting to be a meat snob. But yeah, so it took me a week to even get my appetite back, and it's about halfway back, but it's starting to come back better. I even had to bring in a little bit of bacon and a little bit of dairy because those things I had like kind of a meat aversion feel, and so I wasn't liking steak, and so that's why I'm making these bacon burger smoky patties, and those are hitting the spot right now. Adding a little bit of cheese back, but and I'm still doing my egg yolks. But so I'm repriming, and then I'm going to go back into. So next week's the last week of my prime. So I basically got 7 more days, and then I'm going to go back and do 7-day fasts, and then because I'm going to Australia, I'm going to wait till I get back from Australia, and then I'm going to do another run at the 40-day fast. The reason why I was squeezing it in early is because I don't fear, but I knew my best chance was to not let it get into winter because my body does not like to fast in the wintertime. It just, as soon as I get cold, it puts on the brakes on fasting as soon as the weather gets gloomy doomy. So, but I'm going to see what happens. And if it doesn't work out until summer, then it doesn't work out till summer, but I'm going to get a 40-day fast, and I guarantee it. It's on my bucket list of things to do. So, but yeah, so keep working on that.
deuterium depleted water in glass bottles is best, and hydrogen water, etc., but they are expensive. Best cost-effective way I've found is reverse osmosis filter system and remineralize the water. Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that. I've heard of the reverse osmosis filters and
Mhm.
deuterium depleted water and stuff, but I don't have any clue what or why that is. Like, I don't know what the difference between that is and the water that I drink out of my well outside. Like, it comes out of the ground. So I don't know why or how. But so many things to know in this life. You
Oh,
guys
hi,
hear?
Cosette.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
All right, here, have a burger.
Oh, so if we bark, do we all get burgers too?
Cosette would say yes. She's like, that's the trick. Bug him during a live stream. He'll feed you a burger. Go eat it. Go.
Lindy, they
Go
do
ahead.
an endoscopic look before they go in and take it out because I had that worry too. Okay, interesting. Well, I think it's probably worth me investigating then and just see what the damage is. Hmm.
She's being such a pain right now. Just eat it. That dog.
MRI, ultrasound, and CAT scans present surgeons with all the hiccups the surgeon will run into pre-op. The last thing they want is a legal action. Yeah.
Huh. Well,
I
it's not.
wonder if they'd do that, like if I go ahead and have this skin removal, whether they'd do it all at once. Save on the surgery. Probably too much all in one go, though. But
I bet they
I
would.
don't know.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
they're in there anyway, aren't they?
They are. And I'm planning on them fixing my hernia when I have the skin removal. And I think that's going to be kind of a big one.
Yeah. I might ask the doctor when I see him in November to say, is this an option? And maybe I go and have my scans first and make sure it is an option for me.
For sure.
But then I'm just going to have to come back to Texas and try all that meat that I couldn't eat last time.
Yeah. And yeah, that would be awesome. You should come out when you're in Montana and have it out by then, because you might actually have your surgery by then, and wouldn't you?
It was booked for February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that happened, yeah, then when you come to Montana, wow, there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff you can try. Try before. Oh, absolutely. I had to fight with myself because there was still the old stubborn part of me that wanted to kind of just gut it. But then I was like, I tell people all the time not to do this, so I can't be a hypocrite. So I just threw in the towel on day 6. I'm like, all right, time to reprime. It's this is the power to all this, and this is what we've learned. So I would be an idiot to not listen to my own experience that I've learned from, and try to be stubborn. So I did. I did finally throw in the towel. Wasn't happy about it, but
I'm very proud of you because you've always really stuck to your guns. You get an idea in your head and you just go with it. And we've been worried about you, but now you are actually listening to your body. So
I am.
that's great.
I'm stubborn, but I will learn after 4 or 5 smacks in the head with a 2x4. I will come around. So I finally did. I was like, well, we all know what it's like. We get in a hurry. It's like we keep making plans. I'm like, if I do this, I can be down another 100 pounds by X, Y, and Z and have skin surgery and all this stuff. And then, here comes a curveball. And then you don't want to, you don't want to get derailed. So you tuck your head down. You're like, I'm just going to, stubborn my way through the, yeah. And I've done that long enough and it never worked before. It just puts you in a bad spot. So I'm trying to go against my own stupidity this time, and it seems to be working. I'm, like, seriously, in the last 2 weeks, I've gained, I don't know, 24 pounds, right? But I also know that it's all fluid. It's just fluid and food. And I know from doing enough rolling 7-day fast, I'll have all that weight gone in probably 3 weeks, or 3 days of a fast. and maybe 4 at the most. That weight will be gone, and then it'll still start coming off. But here's what was interesting: is on day 6, I only lost like 0.4 or 0.6 pounds on day 6, which is the least I've ever lost on a 7-day fast. Like that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. And it just goes to show you how much my metabolism shut down. As if
Yeah.
it wasn't losing anything. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, half a pound's a lot of weight. Not when you're still 400 pounds. When you're 400 pounds, I can sneeze and lose half a pound. You know? So for sure not. I'd love to try and start experimenting with fasting. Definitely, Pam, definitely. It's great and it's really good, but I highly, highly recommend SBG's fasting program because, and I say this from experience, you can hurt your metabolism if you do it wrong. And you need to heal and prime first and then fast. And that's just my opinion and my experience from doing it twice now. But I wouldn't have known anything about my metabolism crashing and what your basal metabolic rate slowing down felt like during a fast and what the warning signs were if I hadn't have worked out the fasting program, doing OMADs and then 36s and then 48s and then 72s and then on from there. That really helped train on how to do that. But also eating right in between fasting is super handy. And you also need to know why you're fasting. If you have weight to lose, that's good. If you have things to heal, that's really good too. But if you're really lean and you're fasting for healing, it's even way more important that you eat a lot too in between because you don't have a lot of room to work with.
And you don't want to be white knuckling when you're fasting either. So they sort of teach you how to fast without that white knuckle.
For
Shouldn't
sure.
be hard. Yeah.
Tim says order up. Woof woof.
He wants to.
Tim wants a couple burgers. Exactly. I remember a video of Keto Rewind's mom talking about living her
having a lap band removed because it was causing problems, and apparently they only have a life of 10 years, although most doctors don't tell you that. I'm coming up to 30 or 27 years now.
Wow, that's crazy. That's another thing I got to do a video on is I'm going to have to go get my prescription checked again because my glasses aren't working anymore. So I assume from all the fasting, my eyes have healed again.
What a terrible problem to have, hey?
I know. Eyes clearing up. Did either of you experience toxic overload from liberating all of the fat from your fat cells? Yeah, I have that. I mean, that happens quite frequently, especially on day 6 and 7 of every 7-day fast that I've taken. I feel that I am being liberated from toxic overload for sure, or from fat cells. But yeah, absolutely. It happens quite a lot. And especially, I get it in skin rashes. I get it in diarrhea. I get it in upset stomach sometimes. But yeah, I have, and I laugh about it now because I know when it's happening. But I'm like, I think I just vacated a burger I ate in like 1994 or something. I think I hit a fat pocket from 1994 or something. Because yeah, that stuff keeps happening. And what's crazy is that my body forces it to happen on day 6 and 7 of a 7-day fast. It happens almost every time, except for the last time when my metabolism died. That was another reason that didn't happen on day 6, which was another reason I threw it in the towel when my metabolism crashed. But all right.
It depends if they need a different team, i.e. gastro and surgeon team. My spine revision had 2 teams, neuro and ortho. Gets expensive.
Yeah, I bet that would get expensive. Let's see here. Since I've lost weight, my hernia has shrunk about a quarter of its size. I theorized that I have less visceral fat point or pushing out of it. Yeah, I would think so. That would make sense. I have something else going on. I don't even know that you call it a hernia exactly. I have that thing where It seems like the ab muscle down one whole side of my abdomen has maybe been ripped, torn. So it's weird. It kind of, when I flex my stomach now, it kind of folds up in the middle like a book and kind of pulls to one side. And so I think that happens to women when they have like a cesarean or something. I've seen, and that has to be put back together. So I don't know what that's called exactly, but it's not pretty, and it's a pretty long one. It's like, I don't know, it's like 10 inches long or something, 10 or 12 inches long. So I don't know. I don't think that one's going to shrink up. I think that one's going to have to be sewed back on. I'm thinking it is difficult to have patience. When it's not that I'm getting better at it, but it's not my strong suit by any means.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim's right there with me. Nurse fasting works for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
100%. High deuterium levels in water damage your mitochondria, plus average water is full of PFAS, whatever that is, and many other drugs and chemicals. You think that's even in like well water that's filtered at, like I would have, I'm going to guess I don't have any problems with any of that in my water. Now it could, because of the farmland, maybe there's pesticides and stuff in the farm land, that it runs through or something that goes into the river. That could be it. But our water comes right off the mountain at 9,600 feet in elevation, and it is the coldest water that comes out of the well. And everybody brags about how it tastes like. Out-of-staters come here and they bottle it up and take it home with them because they say it's awesome. So I feel like my water is pretty clean, but I'm just curious. But I know.
What about boiling? Does that help at all?
I don't think that it gets like it'll kill bacteria and stuff, or most bacteria, I think, but I don't think that it takes out chemicals and stuff. Like it's got pesticides and that sort of stuff. I don't think boiling's enough. I think if you were just worried about still water or bacteria or something, I think it's a good place to start to kill all the bugs and worms and things in there. But I don't think it's good enough to cleanse it from toxins. Go ahead.
When I hit the 100-pound weight loss, I was listening to 90s music. Must have been those Twinkies I ate as a kid.
Matt, you might be onto something actually, because the more weight that I lose, I keep going back in genres. I mean, right now, this week, I've been listening to a lot of Journey from like the 70s and 80s right now. So I think you might be onto something. I keep going backwards in the genres right now. Exactly. I think he's onto something. That's pretty funny. Yes, I think that is what it's called. I think that is what it's called. I would have to look it up.
When you have like skin removal surgery, there's two different ones. There's one where they just remove the pannus, like the apron, but then there's another one where they tighten your muscles down the middle. So is that probably the muscles you're referring to?
Yeah, because you got abs on both sides all the way down your stomach. Well, the ones on the left side here, I was lifting a really heavy roll of wire, like a jerk. And this was, I don't know, 12 years ago or something. And I was flipping up this roll of wire and something just tore on, it was a bunch of core muscle stuff that I was doing. When I was flipping it up, something, just my abdomen caught on fire. Just something happened. I turned pale. I was sweating. My stomach burned, like my entire gut just felt like it was on fire, just burning. And that hurt. And ever since then, the muscles from the left-hand side of my abdomen, if I do like a stomach crunch, the muscles pull over to this side and they make a big ridge. Like they go like,
okay, yeah,
like that tall all the way down the front of my abdomen. And so I don't know what that is, but it's big. And it's the reason why it's when I do core exercises, it's really hard. Right now it's hard to do deadlifts.
There you go.
Okay. Well, that's what that is. I'm a little nervous that because it's been torn for 12 years, that it's going to be hard to put back, but I'm hoping that they can put it back. It's obviously still there because it tightens up. but I do know it gives me some pretty nasty like navel and gut pain when I'm really exerting myself lifting, like deadlifting or doing the hit axle or trying to plank or trying to do push-ups or anything that takes real hard core strength. It does not feel great for sure right
Mm,
now. So I'm hoping to
yeah.
get that fixed when I get the skin surgery done. All right.
You look great, buddy. I have been on keto and holding strong, down 222 pounds now in 2 years.
That's
Yay.
awesome. Holy
And
cow.
65 more to go, and I'm still taking off 6 pounds each month. I have considered carnivore.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
Wow.
Well, first of all, 222 pounds. Congratulations. That is no easy feat. So that's incredible. And yeah, I appreciate it. Got a ways to go. I still have like 130 pounds to lose too. But man, how much better do you feel? Tell us that. I mean, that's got to be, you just got to feel like you're walking on air right now. It feels awesome, you know? Oh, you got a stalker.
Hello. It's my husband.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, well, that'll be, I'll have to look into that, but I think that is, I don't know what it takes to fix a torn mediastinum or whatever, but I,
Yeah.
I hope they can just super glue that baby back on. See what it takes.
Yeah. Well, I guess if they're going to fix all that when you're having your surgery, that can all be fixed in one hit. But they
Yeah,
say it's very painful when you have that type of surgery. So
yeah, that's gonna be tricky too because I don't take painkillers. I'll take like Advil or aspirin, but when I had I had broke an ankle, broke a bone in an ankle once, and I was taking Vicodin, and after just like 3 or 4 days of the Vicodin, I noticed that the pain wasn't there, but my brain was like, "You got to take the Vicodin right now," like it wanted it, and I was like,
yeah.
"Oh, okay, yeah, of course." With my addictive personality, of course, I'm going to get hooked on these stupid things. And so I stopped taking the Vicodin right then, and it was hard. Like just after 3 days of taking Vicodin 3 times a day, I did not want to stop taking those pills. Like my body wanted those pills just after 3 days, but it scared the crap out of me, so I stopped taking them. And then I got knee surgery like 8 years later, and they said, "Are you allergic to any pills?" And I said, "Yeah, Vicodin. I'm allergic to Vicodin. Don't give it to me." And so then they gave me Oxycontin, and I took one Oxycontin pill, and I had a hallucination, like a very like crazy hallucination with my eyes open. So then I just didn't take any painkillers at all, which the hallucination was way worse than the knee pain from the knee surgery. So ice was the best. Ice and Advil was all I used on the knee surgery. So I'm hoping I can get away with the same thing on the skin removal because I do not want to take any narcotics because I think I am not a great candidate for those things.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Mine looks like a scene from Alien where something is coming out of her stomach when I do crunches. After 3 kids, I have a massive ab separation. Yeah, exactly. Isn't it crazy? Yeah, I know. It like bifolds up a little bit to the right, and it sticks up. It's like that wide, and it sticks up like that far, all the way down. And I didn't know that for the first. Well, I didn't know that till Carnivore. I didn't know that till a year ago because I was too big to see that.
Yeah.
You know, but now my stomach's gone, or well, the top half of it anyways gone. And then so then I was sitting there working out and just playing around on the floor and getting up, and I was like, what is that? Like, that's not
Yeah.
normal. And I know what you mean. It absolutely looks like that, like something's crawling out. I'm like, I just look down. I'm like, well, that's not good. There's
Yeah.
no way that's right.
And I actually find I've got veins in my legs now. They were so big and swollen that I could never tell. They were just big masses. But now
Yeah.
I've actually feel like I might have varicose veins or something like that. You can
Wow.
actually see the veins.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all this stuff that was hidden before.
Right. I know. Like kneecaps. It's funny, but I laugh now. I look down, I'm like, I knew I had kneecaps. My buddy Jens would always give me a hard time because I'm only 5'10", but I have really long arms and really long back. I'm kind of built like a monkey, and I have short little legs. And so, and then I have short, fat, stubby legs, right? And then so my buddy Jen's like 6'6", and he would look and he goes, "Where are your knees at?" He would say that, and I'd point down. And he's like, "How are your knees down by your shins?" Like, I don't understand. He said, "Bend your leg. I want to see your knees." He's like, "You're bending your leg, and I can see that, but I still can't figure out where your knees are at." Like, Jens, that makes two of us. So it's a funny thing, right? Especially
Yeah.
because I haven't had knees, I don't know, I think ever. Especially not, I was 600 pounds when I was 14, so I didn't see him back then. But
Yeah.
now I look down, I'm like, I have kneecaps. The simple pleasures in life. I recently made it to the 130 club, down 52 pounds.
Yay. Excellent. Congratulations, Lisa.
Very
Well
good.
done.
Incredible. Hoping that as I get lighter, the less pain I'll have to deal with. But it's early days for me. Only 4 months carnivore. I have a lot to lose. It's that time's going to go by quicker than you think. It really is.
Yeah.
It's so weird to think. Remember, it just feels like a minute ago we started this thing, and I was on my 1-year carniversary, and you were on your 2-year carniversary.
Yeah.
That just happened in my head. It just happened. Everything else was a blur. And now I'm about to be on my 2-year carniversary, and you're about to be on your 3-year carniversary, which is crazy. And, it still feels just like a week ago or something. I was like, man, I hope I can make it a month on carnivore, and now.
Yeah. I remember sitting here thinking, how am I ever going to get to a year just eating meat? Like, it just seemed so far away. I had so much weight to lose, and I just thought, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I didn't trust the process, didn't believe in it. And yeah, nearly 3 years later, and living my life again. So still a lot to heal. I've still got pain and still, but really for 3 years, it's pretty good what I've been able to achieve after 50 years of neglecting myself. So, yeah.
Well, 100%. And furthermore, if you hadn't done carnivore, where would you be now?
I wouldn't be here today. No way.
Exactly. And even that's just the thing. And I know I repeat this a lot, but for anybody that hasn't heard it, I really think this is one of the things that's hard to see when you're stuck in the middle of it. But the reason why we think that a year or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years is too long is because we're all used to calorie restrictive fad diets that don't really work, that are all based off of suffering and willpower, and they don't pay you back, and they don't really work. You can lose weight and still be depressed and still be tired and still be fatigued and be more mentally miserable than when you started.
Yeah.
That's a total thing that we've all done a million times, and so that's why it's just solidified in our mind that we can only be on a diet that lasts 6 months or a year. So we need to lose all this weight in 6 months, or maybe a year. And it's because, but what we don't understand is that if no matter what, no matter how small the change is, if you could just stop the descend into hell, it's better, right? So anything that's sustainable, the smallest improvement that's sustainable over a long period of time, at least just stopping the carnage is better. And that's what I never understood before, because I was always I had to do something so big. I'm gonna not eat, and I'm gonna exercise 9 hours a day, and I'm gonna do all these crazy things. And we just think that because we think the mountain that we have to move is so big, and we can't do it we start off knowing that we can't do it for a sustained period of time. In our mind, we go, I can only endure this for 6 months or something, right? And that's where we all start with that, where if you do carnivore, it pays you back, and then you end up craving free. You end up with the off switch Lindy talks about, and then you feel better and things come off, and all of a sudden 5 years is not a long time. And because you didn't go from the worst place you were to all at your goals or whatever, but every day got so much better, and there's so many victories along the way and so much health that you gained along the way that it's just like, it's not like those other diets. It pays you back, I guess what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
But a diet is a four-letter word. Don't use it. This is a lifestyle. And it wasn't
Sure.
until I realized this isn't a diet. This is how I need to eat for the rest of my life. Otherwise, I'm going to spiral back to 800 pounds, 350 kilos, whatever you want. It's a lifestyle. I have to eat this way. And still listening to people saying, oh, just one or two veggies is not going to hurt you. A little bit of fruit's not going to hurt you. Well, I proved it has. For me personally, I cannot do it. I need to stay as strict as I can to stay on track. And I really think everyone needs to find their own way. If you can do that, fine, do it. But yeah, everyone needs to just work on their own health and find out what works for them, and try not to listen to that noise of other people telling you what to do and how to eat. Just ignore it.
For sure, 100%. I've never given birth, but I look I look similar. For sure. They would use a mouse for the first few days of recovery, and you can only press the button if those little things for pain relief. Pain brings you an RND. I don't know what that is. My anesthesia put LSD and ketamine in my morphine cartridge.
I was thinking of a little mouse, like an animal mouse.
No,
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 it's one of those
yeah,
pain med things. Oh, is that
yeah,
what they call them?
yeah. I was trying to,
Thinking of a test experiment or something.
yeah. I wasn't sure what you're saying either. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
uh, at about 30 minutes ago, DBL timing, I will catch up. Oh, I got you.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
talking about community sport. I started not long before you started doing this podcast. Just this much help. That's awesome, Linda.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. And, I just think about it a lot because, you know, we're all learning every day. All of us are learning every day. We learn stuff from you guys. We learn stuff as we go. Things change for us every day, every week. And so I just was sitting here going, I hear this a lot. I hear a lot of things. There's some people that say, and I'm not here to dispute any of it. I know this is what everybody's personal experience is, and they're telling, nobody has a reason to be telling a story. This is what they believe right now where they're at. But I keep hearing a bunch of people talk about once an addict, always an addict. And, I might just be incredibly fortunate because I just don't think that I am. But I've done a lot of thinking about that. And I also think that there's a difference from being an addict, like a lifelong addict, and also because I'm really trying to figure out what helped me be free from that, because I still have this compulsive nature to do everything 110% or not at all. Like that's still my nature. And I think that's what gets me in trouble. And so I know for a fact, I don't think that I'm an addict where I can't resist it anymore. But I do think that I still have a compulsive nature to where if I was to start again and get tempted by something again and then give into it, well, I think I'd be a raging lunatic again because that's my personality or whatever that is in me. I think I'd go all in on it again, likely. And I think that knowing that about myself. So I don't know. I separate this once an addict, always an addict thing. I kind of separate that and I compartmentalize it and I go, no. And I can say that because I was a raging gambling addict as far as I'm concerned for 15 years. And then I just stayed in an Indian casino hotel for 4 days when I was in Wyoming. I could care less. Like it wasn't even a problem at all. Where 5 years ago, I would have went on a 72-hour binger probably, and done, been miserable. But I didn't at all. And I knew I wouldn't. And I was right. And I didn't entertain any of that. However, if I would have gone in there and let myself get tempted and think about it and reminisce about the old days and all the things that I used to do, I could have probably talked myself into it. And had I dipped my toe into that water, I probably would have went on a binger, like if I would have done it. So it's a weird thing. I don't exactly know what I'm trying to say, but I'm able at this point to separate continuing to be an addict from just being tempted, like
I wonder how you would feel if you had gone to Wyoming and everyone else decided to go gambling. Then would that have you would have thought maybe
no, I don't think so. I think
say yeah.
and there's so when I was there the first night, Raymond goes, "Did you go check out the poker tables?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't. I haven't had time. I just got here. I haven't even looked and don't plan on it." And when I went up to check in, they're like, "Do you want your $10 worth of free play?" Because that's how they get you. They want you to go put $10 on the house in. And first of all, I was insulted because they don't know the level of degenerate I am. $10 I would laugh at. So, when I used to go to Vegas, they'd give me $1,500 worth of free play because I was a junkie. And so, yeah, $10 was insulting. But I was like, no, you can keep your stupid $10. And then it never crossed my mind, but there was people that were going down there, because it's a hotel casino. So they make you walk through the casino to get to your room because they want you to be tempted by it. And instead of much like sugar and stuff is now, I'm not only not tempted by it, I have a disdain for it. I'm like, yeah, this is shit that tried to ruin me for years, And so anyhow, there's nothing there. But if I chose to entertain the old ideas and stuff and let myself get tempted by it, I think, and if I played it and had a big win and whatever and brought some of that old stuff back, I think I would hop back into it. But also, and I'm literally just thinking out loud because I don't know the real answer to any of this. I'm just thinking about what happened. But also, I was really busy. Just like I keep myself very busy now with Carnivore, I was really busy then too, and I just always had something I was doing. I was always going someplace, picking somebody up. Like I was just busy the entire time, So I never thought twice about it. Not once did I think about even entertaining it. So I don't know. I just think about that a lot, and I think that my compulsive nature to go 110% and the fact that I've done that for Carnivore now, I think that's a good thing. I think that 110% thing has actually made me taken away all of the addiction stuff. That and
Yeah.
So I think that, I don't know. I've just been thinking about that a lot lately because I'm like, and the reason why I'm thinking about it is because how do we if that's maybe it can't be something for everybody, maybe it can be. If it is, how do I reverse engineer this so we can put it in a capsule and other people can do it? Like I'm really just trying to figure it out because when I hear people say I don't have your willpower, I'm like, you do not know the lack of willpower I had for 39 years. I had no willpower, none.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Also, this is where I've fallen off because after leaving Texas and coming here to nothing, I've got no carnivore friends. My family's not carnivore. There's no support. And then I haven't been in the community. So I didn't even have that support. I haven't been watching as many YouTube videos because I've been busy with my, life and caring for my daughter with her condition. I was totally out of the picture. And that's when things sort of came in,
right.
I'd lost my grounding. So that's why I'm trying to get back into the community now. I need to start posting my videos to keep me accountable and getting back into the community because I just feel lost.
For sure. Well, and also, you had something that took you out of the community in your personal life that pulled you away from it and took your time. And that could have absolutely derailed me. That's why I say I could be just incredibly fortunate. I'm just trying to think about kind of backwards engineer the steps because there could have been things for sure that would have derailed.
I thought I was over the addiction, nearly 3 years in, that nothing, I felt strong. And even before Texas, I might have a little bit of edge, but I knew how to get over it. And I was like, I did it that once and that was it. But this time round, it's all different. And that's because my life is a mess and with what's going on. And I just feel really, really weak at the moment because I don't have that community support and being in that community. So, yeah.
100%. Yeah. Well, now we know we gotta make sure like no man left behind.
Exactly.
We're gonna have to start sending out search parties for all of us. I've been carnivore for 400 days. It's the best. Congratulations, Annabella.
Great, Annabella. Awesome.
That is awesome. Let's see here. I know Lindy is, but if you met me, you'd take that back. I get on people's nerves.
Todd's amazing. He just can't drive for shit.
I drive fast. She only
like
says that because she thinks I drive
NASCAR rally driver. You do drive on the wrong side of the road.
It's not true.
You're like a NASCAR rally driver.
Hey, did we swap paint with anybody? No, we did not. Did we make it on time to every place? Yes, we did.
I still have Bella's face and her knuckles, imprinted in my brain.
Well,
she's like, does he always drive like this? And we're like, yeah.
They should have practiced a little carnivore calm is what should have happened there.
Yeah, my daughter Bella and I were sitting in the back seat. We were like crash test dummies.
Hey, that Austin traffic is terrible. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, thank
Absolutely,
you,
Tim. Oh, thank you, Crystal. Appreciate it. We met her in Texas, remember? She was at the Hack Your Health. She was one of the workers there.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. That's it, Todd. You must prove the AB situation live right now. The hat situation. Otherwise, ribeyes will be out of stock globally for a year. Next time. That's funny. Exactly, Todd. That's why I love carnivore, because it feels sustainable and I'm not starving. Yeah, and this isn't a diet like Lindy said. This isn't white knuckling. This is the answer. This is the PhD, the proper human diet. That's awesome. I think I've lost 40 kilograms since July last year. That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
It's absolutely
congratulations. Yeah, makes such a big difference.
The more I eat meat, the more I crave it, for sure. And that's, that is such a good sign, because because probably the more volume you eat too, because that's your metabolism bumping up. We all don't realize how detrimental we were to our own metabolisms by doing all the starvation diets. It's crazy.
And the fact that you eat the meat and then you get that off switch, you turn off and you can go and enjoy yourself. You're not sitting there just thinking about where your next meal's going to come from anymore. That food freedom is just amazing.
Right. Let's see. The only rules are the ones your body teaches you if you pay attention. That's a fact. But see, that's something you got to learn too, right? Everybody's like, because I used to hear this all the time. Listen to your body. Eat intuitively. Listen to your body. I'm like, okay, well, my body's telling me right now to eat a large pizza, a cheesecake, and about a gallon and a half of Coca-Cola. So I think my body's a crackhead right now. But what we mean is we have to fix the endorphin junkies that we are. We have to stop medicating. We have to get off. We have to beat our addictions first, and you have to do that, which is not intuitive at all. Our bodies do not want to give that up, but you have to give it up, and you do it. Carnivore works so amazingly because you can eat through the cravings. You can use it as a hack. But then when you get on the other side and you beat the addictions and you nourish your body and your hormones balance out and you start to get leptin sensitivity back, and which doesn't happen for everybody, but happens for most people right away or within short time, then you can start listening to your body. But for a while there, for me, I don't know, probably 7 months, my body was just a crackhead. So I couldn't listen to him at all. He was trying to steal my car stereo all the time. Tell me. Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. I was thinking that too. 100%, Tim. I always say that I feel like I give Carnivore too much credit for what God did for sure. I believe, this all started in prayer on my knees, and I think God answered my prayers through Carnivore. 100%, Tim. I'm from South Africa, started 6 months ago on my carnivore journey. Went from 220 kilograms down to 168 kilograms. Congratulations. Went from 6XL shirt to a 3XL shirt and a 60 waist to a 48. You guys inspire me a lot. Oh, that's awesome.
Well done. That's fantastic.
That is incredible. Keep us posted,
Yeah.
man. Keep us.
Yeah. Good job.
That is incredible. Absolutely. Thanks for stopping in, Annabella.
See ya.
Let's see here. Just one question. I have started to see a slowdown in weight loss. What should I do? Jump started again. The last 2 weeks, lost only a few grams. Eat. Like honestly, it's all if you're eating like there's a lot of questions here, but sometimes your body's just gonna stall. Sometimes when your body loses a bunch of weight, it freaks it out. That's what happened to me because I lost 205 pounds and then I didn't lose hardly anything. In fact, I gained. Now, some of these things are composition changes. Some of them things are metabolic changes. Some of these things are your body just stalling out on purpose because your body finds fat to be a safe thing, right? Your body, if you are under eating, if your metabolism's slowing down or any of those things from under eating, then your body feels like you're in a bad environment where, you're in a famine. Like there's not plentiful nutrients and food around you. And so you got to eat through it. Also, you are eating good and your metabolism's running high, but now you're having composition changes and you're putting on muscle and lean bone, density and lean tissue. That can be happening. So there's many follow-up questions, but the answer to almost any stall is usually eat. Believe it or not. It's pretty funny, but it's usually eat more.
Yeah, I do think it goes in waves. I think even last year you didn't lose any weight in winter, and then come summer and you dropped a ton.
Yeah.
And then this winter I've stopped, and I'm expecting when summer hits that I'll eventually start losing weight again. So I think there's also that winter.
For sure. 100%. Yep, I think the seasons do it. I think your body's like, I think there's so many things. I mean, now I'm down 310 pounds and I'm kind of cold. And my body's probably like, it probably even takes thermally a little bit of time for your body to adjust and go, are we about to freeze to death?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things that play into it. And that's why we have to, just like Lindy said, this isn't a diet, it's a lifestyle change. And you shouldn't look at the scale to determine if you need to change something that's working. And this is where exactly the point where you have to listen to your body. And if you're still, it's one thing if you stop losing weight or gain weight and you've changed your diet and you're letting things creep back in, that's one thing. But if you're still holding the course and doing the same things that lost the weight in the first place and made you feel good, it's probably your body just working things out. But if you react to that poorly and you start cutting food out of your diet because you think you need to restrict, it's probably going to make things much worse.
Yeah, slow your metabolism down for sure.
Yeah, to a crawl.
Yeah.
That's a great mental trick. I look at cakes and pastries and other junk food and try to picture the skull and crossbones symbol on them to remind me that all poison because I'm not a moderator. Absolutely.
Yeah. And do you find like whenever you walk past a restaurant or even in the supermarket, you can smell those oils, and that oil, it's so toxic to smell. I'm really sensitive to that now.
Yeah, that seed oil smells so putrid. It's this funky,
Yeah.
sour. It's hard to even put on there, but it's weird because I could have never sniffed out a seed oil in my life before when I was eating it.
Yeah.
And now I can't not smell it. I'm like, no, I'm not eating that. That thing smells like it's been dead outside and rolled in cow shit for 3 days. It's like, what is that?
Yeah. And we went to a restaurant a while back, and It was like you just order little dishes and they all come out. So I chose some of the meat dishes, which all came out, but everything smelt like this oil, like even the meat. So I could barely eat it. I just ended up having the shelled prawns. So I'd shell them and eat those. And that's all I ate that day because everything smelt like this oil. And I just didn't want to put it in my mouth. It was disgusting.
For sure. I know I have an addictive personality, so I love the carnivore has given me the mental strength to not go back on carbs, even though am an addict for sure,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, and that's I don't know. Maybe that's a mental thing with me too. I don't I don't want to give anything the power over me to say that I'm addicted to it anymore, because I don't think that I think it's just a mental view too, because I do not feel that I have to be powerless to anything anymore, especially after all that went away, like the nicotine and everything. I'm just like, no, I think I've built the muscles or whatever, been freed enough that I can make sure that I know that I can choose to not do any of this anymore. Oh, there's Crystal. Absolutely. No worries. Julie Ash, for those who are curious about joining a group, Bella's latest video, she offered a link to join SBG for free. Does not include challenges. Yep, absolutely. Go join that, and that'll get you into the free group. And then, personally, I think I would join the challenges because that gets you into all the Zoom calls. And of course, it's $1 a day, and I think it's the best value that I can spend. And I know how much money that they put into that and why it's got to. I mean, they have to make it pay for itself, But it really is the best community that I've been involved with online, and I quite enjoy it. As far as if you're a carnivore, starting carnivore, like quite honestly, if you're having real serious medical problems, I think that going to Barry's group is good, for direct medical questions and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think for starting carnivore and now for mental health, even, I think the Steak and Butter Gang is the best one that I found for sure, and it's the one that I choose. And full transparency, I am a admin there, and I do a call there, but I don't get paid for anything. I don't take money for anything, because like this is just a passion project. I'm doing it because I love that group, and it helps so many people, and it helped me so much that I truly believe everybody needs to get over there and do that. Sometime in the future, there's probably going to be an affiliate link or something that I'll get out of it, but I don't even care, to be honest with you. This is just about spreading the message and watching people heal. And that's why I love the group so much, is because it's a bunch of people that don't have any agenda whatsoever. Yeah, they have some paid coaches there, and you can pay for some coaches, but the community is just people that we're all in the same boat, that we're all just trying to heal. We're all being attacked by our food environment and by our medical system and by the drug pushers. We're all being attacked. We're all sick, and we're all just trying our best to find our health again and come out of it. And it's a great think tank where you can learn from people's experience that have been doing it longer, and you can help pull people up that have just started. So you can, as you grow, you can help. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, one of the reasons that I also don't fall off is because I have a lot of people asking me for help and listening to my advice, and I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to lead them off the trail. Right. So that keeps me super accountable too, because I have so much more to think about, if I'm going to be tempted with something or fall off. Not that it's the end of the road if I fall off, but I just don't want to make people think, well, he lost 300 pounds and he's been doing it for 2 years and he can't even do it. Like I want, and like, I'm not saying I won't fall off someday. I don't know. I might, but I'm just saying that that focus by being there and having people that you're helping and you're accountable to, and by having people that are helping you, it's just a really good system to really stay focused on what's important, because then all of a sudden when I'm like, oh, I'm tired, should I go, to a fast food place because I had a long day and whatever, then I think about, well, no, because I don't want to do that, because I got a lot of people counting on me, and I'm counting on a lot of other people. And I know where that leads, and how bad would that be if I spiraled? I'm like, no, I don't want any of that stuff. And this stuff's poison. This stuff's the stuff that attacks me, you know. And so
Yeah.
I just love the community aspect of it. And I'm realizing in the last, well, quite honestly, about the last 2 months, how important that really is, because I've been thinking about all the people that I've tried to help that aren't in these communities and that fall off
Yeah.
versus, you know, like I honestly don't think I've had one successful person outside of SBG that stayed on it. Have you, Lindy?
No, no, I think you need to commit to a group and a community. If you're desperate enough, you will do it.
Yeah.
And you commit, they financially commit to it. And that's what I needed too. If I'm paying for something, then I will commit to it because I'm putting money into it. Whereas if I say, oh, can you just tell me how to do carnivore? And then there's no commitment there. So you won't fulfill it. You go off the wagon. So for
Right.
sure.
Well,
Yeah.
and also, I'm not saying that there's not people that do it without a community. I know that there is, but I noticed that there's
Mm.
also something that's really interesting about those people. They've they were brought to their knees, like they are some of the, like me and Lindy, right? Like I did the first 9 months of carnivore without a group, but it was literally because I was dying and I had no other options. I was immobile, dying on oxygen, had no other choice. It was just a last ditch effort, and I was lucky to have it. And I see that there's a lot of people that do it on their own and are successful is because their health got so bad that they literally, one, didn't have a choice, and two, when it started to work, they were so grateful that they had a second shot that they stayed on it. But
Yeah.
it'd be nice to not have to watch people get that far gone, you know? And the people that aren't that far gone yet, those are the ones that really, really need a community because their why isn't big enough yet, you know?
But you were doing carnivore for 7 months on your own, doing OMAD, and that's when we kind of met up. But you were starting to feel like carnivore isn't working for me anymore.
Sure.
But you hadn't changed anything. You were eating one meal a day, you were strict, yet you were going backwards. And that's
100%.
when you decide you joined SBG and you found out why, that you needed to prime, that your metabolism was tanked.
Had no
Um,
clue. I had no clue about any of it. You know, it was crazy. One of the things I loved is when I got in there, all these things that I was kind of trying to put, all because you're getting all this feedback loop coming in from your body and all these things that are happening, and you're trying to put all the pieces together and going, am I right about thinking this? Am I really feeling this way? Is that really doing this to me? And then I got into SBG and was in the first calls, and I related to like 90% of the stuff people were saying. They're like, I can't eat chicken. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought I was crazy. Chicken was making me sick. And
yeah,
then they're like, well, I can't eat that much fat because I get the runs. I'm like, yeah, exactly. How do you eat this much fat and how do you put it on there? And then they're like, well, eat cold fat. And I'm like, why would that make a difference? Sure enough, it made a huge difference. You know, all this stuff that everybody was saying, when they're talking about, no, you shouldn't even, you shouldn't have the pepper. Some people are allergic to it because the shell casing makes you hold, casing in dairy makes you hold fluid. Like just massive amounts of information that I was like, that's why that's happening. That's why this is happening. My metabolism is crashed. And I had, you have to go through it. That's why when people ask us, how do you start carnivore? What do you eat in a day? It's like, it doesn't work that way. What I eat in a day right now is probably not going to be the same thing I eat in a day 4 weeks from now or 6 weeks from now or 8 weeks from
yeah,
now, because I even change, because you do have to listen to your body. But then if you're still a crackhead, like people will be like, I'm pretty sure my body wants, they'll say something that they assume is healthy. I'm pretty sure my body really wants onions right now, or something. And, and that's not like you can't not have them. But, I finally got clean enough that when I had lettuce, my knee swelled up and I realized that lettuce was poisoning me. I was like, okay, Chafee's right. These plants are trying to kill us. I just wouldn't have had any of that aspect without being in a group. And so,
mm.
yeah, absolutely. Oh, Crystal's has a message for you.
Oh, thank you, Crystal.
That's awesome. I've been on track for 1.5 months. Then this weekend, I started wanting to eat the junk. I don't know why I subscribed to SBG, but could not figure out how to use it, so I just never did anything. Yeah, so well, definitely. So how you use SBG is when you subscribe, you download the Mighty app, and you're on the Mighty network, and then you go up to events in the top left-hand corner, and you'll see all the Zoom calls that they have and all the events. And if you can't make one of the events live, you can go watch all the playbacks for all the past events. And basically, they have different meetings. If you're new to Carnivore, you want to go to the priming meetings. And basically, what priming is, you'll want to go to priming, troubleshooting, and carb addiction meetings, and the NSVs and the open chats, right? And those are Zoom calls so that you can go in there and you can listen to everybody speak. The events are posted under the events when they're going to be. You can add them to your calendar. They'll send you a link. And under the events that are posted, you can put in text your questions. So even if you can't make the event live because you don't have time, your question will be read. Because if you put your question in the comments, your question will be read and answered by the coaches. And you can go back and watch the playback and hear the answer to it. But also, you can hop into the open chats, and Coach Amy's in there and the Chew about, I think, 4 days a week in the Chew. And I'm in there on Saturdays, a kind of a men's focused Chew on Saturdays, which is an open chat group that's through a Zoom call where you can ask questions and get answers to things. But then you go to the Zoom meetings where they will focus in on priming. One's a priming meeting, one's a fasting meeting, one's a sugar addiction meeting, one's a troubleshooting meeting, one's a NSV meeting, and then also they have doctors calls where once a month Dr. Chafee comes in. You can post questions to Dr. Chafee, Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Tony Hampton, Rebecca Heichman. Who else is in there? Forget all the people, but so there's many meetings that are Zoom calls, and if you've ever been on a Zoom call, they're super handy. So it's just, I know at first it can be, but it would behoove you to learn how to use that program, that app, and navigate it and kind of get used to it, because it is sure a lot of help, because then you also can get into the text chat forums where you can ask questions, and a bunch of the people in the group are really handy at telling you, how they did, it really helps a lot.
Feel free to send me a DM inside of Mighty Networks, and maybe we can connect, and I'm happy to walk you through it.
For sure.
So you can find your way.
Absolutely.
Just look up Limitless Lindy. It should come up in the DMs.
Let's see here. Do you think salt, like a full spectrum salt, helps with sweeter sugar temptations? I think that, I don't know. Maybe, I know. I mean, changing your palate, and salt is very palatable when you're a new carnivore. It's kind of weird, right? Because I can't believe that I'm this person right now, but I don't eat salt anymore, which is nuts. And not because I made some sort of decision not to eat salt. My body just stopped needing it. Doesn't want it anymore, which is really weird. I don't know how it happened either. But so I don't know. For me, the things that cuts sugar temptations and sweet temptations is eating meat. Like, even though your brain doesn't want meat, it's wanting a cookie or a brownie or whatever, eat until you're stuffed. And if you do that, if that's your response every time to a food craving, that you give it steak, meat, eggs, bacon, something, and try to make it the most palatable. Make a cheesy egg with bacon, right? And eat that until you're stuffed every time. Whatever carnivore food is most palatable to you, something that you're even likely to even overeat on, use that to fight your cravings with at first. And usually within, anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks, that'll all be a thing of the past, as long as you're eating through the cravings. That's what I find.
Yeah. And if you're not hungry for it, then are you really hungry? Go and do something else. Go for a walk in the garden, or pull some weeds, brush your teeth, do something else to distract yourself, and see what you like in 15 minutes. Sometimes it's just that you're eating out of that, you're bored, or just habit, comfort eating. So you need to distinguish whether you are actually hungry, or is this just a comfort eating, bored habit that you've got.
For sure, because, and that's a very good point. I know you guys get sick of hearing me say it, but I love Jordan Peterson's advice, And he always says, you don't break habits, you change habits, right? You replace them with something. And
Yeah.
I think that's exactly right. And I think you have to. But what's really fun, I don't know, because I was thinking about this too. One of the things that happened to me was I started replacing uh, bad habits with with abilities that Carnivore was giving me back, right? Because I wasn't able to do a lot of things when I was sick. So that was really easy for me. Anytime I was wanting to take something away, I had a plethora of things that I wasn't able to do before that I could do again. So that was really fun to put those things back in, like simple things like driving, going, doing my own shopping, things like that. When I was sick, I couldn't do those things. So there's always something that you can put in place of those bad habits that you can, change, and then but you kind of have to be deliberate about it, like whatever, even if it's just, I don't know, playing music or something, you can literally pick something else. And it doesn't take long to rewire that signal in your brain that I still find stuff that is like a ritual or something, a ritual habit, that when I do something, I'll flash something that like an old memory in me, it'll fire an old neurological pathway in my brain to an old habit I used to have, and I'll be like, that's weird. It just happened to me like last week or something. I parked in a place that I hadn't parked in that was close to a Taco Bell in like 5 years, maybe 4 years, 4 or 5 years. I hadn't parked in this place, and I parked in a spot, and my brain went, "Oh, we're getting Taco Bell." That's what my brain said, because that's where I used to park when I would get Taco Bell, and I would eat in the car. And it happened to be at the time of night, and I used the same drive, and I actually just pulled in there because they were tearing up a parking lot, and I was curious what they were doing. It's at the mall, or in the town that I'm at. They're tearing up the mall, and there's, in the parking lot of the mall, there's a Taco Bell. And I pulled in, I parked in an old spot that I used to. And yeah, my brain just immediately clicked on. But what was cool about it was it felt like deja vu. And it felt like I was remembering being, it was like it was like I was remembering being in a dream, a bad dream of being being a person that ate Taco Bell and got sick a lot. Like, it wasn't me, but I was remembering this thing, and my brain kicked in. I'm like, what the heck is this? That's not me, and I'm not going to that place. Like it was, and immediately it made me happy, actually, because it was so weird to have this deja vu feeling, that it wasn't even like a craving or a temptation. It was like an old memory of something that just made me feel like gross. I can't believe I was that guy that was eating that stuff and getting sick, and that was my, like, I was happy that the feeling, whatever that memory, that habit, was gross. I was like, yuck, I'm not doing that. They're like, no way. It was just kind of a funny response, but that still happens. But I was thinking about that because that happened a lot, and I was deliberate about, when I have, because most of the time when that was happening to me at first, it was out of boredom,
Yeah.
idle time, letting your mind wander was the thing. And so I was real deliberate. And at first I would use audiobooks. It's like, if I'm doing this, I'm going to listen to an audiobook on probably something on the topic of fighting exactly the craving that I'm going through. And so I would make that my new addiction, would be listening to an audiobook about that on Audible, or watching a YouTube video, or making a YouTube video. And I was very deliberate out of putting something in for that habit, and it really does work. Let's see. Still loving the carnivore lifestyle. Just got out of the hospital. Ooh, with double pneumonia, but all my blood work, A1C, and blood pressure is looking great. I think living on protein is what kept me alive. Absolutely. We are so happy you're doing good, Crystal.
Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better.
That's awesome. Let's see. Yeah. Bluegrass Girl, I love listening to you too. You're going to regret saying that. You're going to encourage me to talk more. You're going to be like, make him shut up.
You're all good. Keep going.
I reckon you're about to experience the most brutal winter in your life after losing so much weight. Lindy are really feeling, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know. I'm already thinking about it. Like this is the first winter, and I'm not at all joking. This is the first winter that I'm coming on to where I'm actually it's in my mind right now. I'm like, I got to get some good winter clothes. Like
Yeah,
I've never been
yeah.
that guy to care, you know?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping by next winter I'll be able to wear, pants and jeans and things to cover my legs because I can't at the moment, and that's why I struggle so much. Yeah,
For sure.
but bring
I
on
Wow.
summer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting close for you though, right? What do you got? 2 more months to summer?
Yeah, well, it should be spring now, but it's still freezing and
Wow.
overcast. It's really gloomy.
Well, is it like here where it'll turn on like a light switch for you out of nowhere?
Yeah, it's usually February, March that it gets hot. It's like all the seasons have changed. Like even Christmas Day, it normally rains here, so
Oh
be
wow.
interesting to see what it'll be like in November. Hopefully, we'll have nice weather by then when
Yeah.
you guys come over. So, yeah.
I ate a lot more fat this past 2 weeks. I don't weigh myself, but I feel considerably smaller. Absolutely. That is composition change, and that happens for sure. Yeah. The seed oil smell pretty
Mm,
rancid. I just did a month in Kelly Hogan's group, which was great. Next, I'm going to try SBG's group. That's awesome. Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
definitely take advantage of the open chats and the Zoom calls. And if you have any men that need mental help, which I think all women think all men need mental help, but
Yeah. And there's so many groups out there and they're all very good. You just need to find one that resonates with you the best. I've been in quite a few groups myself and I keep coming back to SBG because it's the one that I feel most comfortable in. So
for
it's
sure,
sort of more aligned with what I need.
for sure. I love the accountability and community as well. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was like you were trying to put a pizza puzzle together with your eyes shut, Todd. Absolutely, it was. I know exactly what you mean, and yeah, you get into these groups, and I don't know why I was, it's just a for me it was just a dude thing. I was like, I don't know, need no stinking support group. Support groups sound pretty weak, when you're when you're trying to be a tough
Yeah.
guy and handle your business and whatever. But the reality of it is it's pretty stupid because those groups, those communities are a bunch of people that have been going through all the same stuff that you've already went through all the problems, figured out the answers to them, made it through the other side. And you'd be an idiot not to want to listen to those people, and learn from other people's struggles. Like, why not do that? I mean, it's so valuable.
Yeah. And I've been like that to myself. I just always want to do things myself. I like to learn things at my own pace and do my own research and not like to rely on anyone. So I was never joined a group before. I was like, I don't need a group. I can do this on my own. But after 6 months of failing, I was quite desperate and decided to bite the bullet and give it a go. And I was in there for 1 month and I did absolutely nothing. I just sat there and listened to the meetings, still felt like a failure, like, oh, this is still all too hard for me. And then reached out to Emily and Raymond, and that's when things happened for me. I needed that extra hand holding, and that's the coaching kind of worked for me. But others could just hop in and do the program and not worry about coaching. Like everyone's at a different level and you need to find what works for you, and they can cater for it all. So
For sure. And we are, it's true, we're all an N equals one study of our
yeah.
own, but there's so many people that have gone through one of the issues you're going to be going through that have found an answer to it that you can learn from. And at least, you might have three different ideas to what's going on with you from three different people or whatever, but you'll try them and you'll know within short order, because that's one of the things that's beautiful about carnivore is that carnivore is really just an animal-based elimination diet so that you can get down to the nuts and bolts of things and then try things one at a time and really work out your N equals one problem solving for yourself so you can piece together what your body needs at that time to feel the best you can, to heal the best you can, and have the best results you can. And when you run into problems, the idea at first, just like she was saying, it's like you're trying to put a puzzle to, like Anna's saying, you're trying to put a puzzle together with your eyes closed. That's exactly right. Because you're like, there's so many pieces to this puzzle and so many things that could be going wrong. You're getting pulled in 100 different directions. But when you talk to literally 100 people that went through the same thing, and they're all like, it's one of two things. It's either this or it's this. Try one at a time, and one of those is probably going to work for you unless you're, a 1 in 1,000. But you're probably that's and sure enough, 99.999% of the time, it cures it up. Where before it was like about to drive you mad and derail you because you're like, what am I doing wrong now? Like
Yeah.
you just didn't know. It's
Yeah.
super, super helpful. Yep. The Chew is wonderful, 5 days a week, very casual. I love that I can learn from so many others. Absolutely. And that's another SBG member for sure. And then Charlie's also in the SBG. For those of you that consider themselves lone wolves, this community is not confirmation oriented. You maintain your individuality but gain the knowledge. Absolutely.
Yes.
100%. Based from years of experience, and those people here are not afraid to kill and eat something. That's for sure, Charlie. That's for sure. I got a good percentage of a cow on this plate right now. And he's not feeling too well.
Watch out, we're going to have some people barking shortly.
Sure. I know, Cosette's definitely going to come back. That's her second patty. Cosette's the only dog that I know that gets bacon burger, homemade brisket burger, and bacon ground patties smoked, and then she comes and weasels me out of a couple. That jerk. I never thought about changing habits. I give up smoking and started saving a little every day. I look at it as a reward system. Still, Jordan Peterson has a point. Well, what and I bet. I bet if you look at it, you probably did something with that time that you used to smoke to take your mind off of it. But yeah, I mean, basically, and this is this is a long time. What am I trying to say? It's a old adage or whatever about that. But if you create a void and you don't fill it with purpose, there's no telling what's going to fill that void, and it could be worse than the thing that you're giving up. Like the habit that sneaks in if you leave a void could be worse than the thing that you're trying to give up. So it's good to not create a void and leave it up to chance to fill it. It's good to take that time, take that void, and make sure that you have a purpose for it. And I don't know, it's worked for me. Like like I'm speaking from an N=1 perspective here. This is just what worked for me. But yeah, it made sense to me, so I definitely tried it. Wow.
In Sydney, we keep fluctuating in a day from 25 day and 8 at night. It feels like summer, then winter, all in one day. Yeah, I follow a couple of people in Sydney and in Queensland, and they've got beautiful blue sky in the background. And I'm just like, we need to move, honey. When are we moving to another state? It is just so awful here.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I mean, any weather on any extremes that bugs you. When Rochelle sent me a picture of Coach Rochelle lives in Texas, and she sent me a picture of her thermometer saying 125 degrees, and I wasn't kidding. That if a thermometer here ever said 125 degrees, that would be the last day I lived here. I would be like, I'm moving, like I'm definitely moving, and it was that way for like 2 weeks, solid. I'm like, no, there are better places. Like we have cars, we have things with wheels, airplanes that fly that move us around. Like you don't have to stay in Death Valley. Like that's crazy. So
Yeah. And it affects your moods as well. Because this morning I woke up and I looked out the window. There was blue sky, sunshine. I felt on top of the world. Got up, had a shower, came in and, just to do a few things. Had a phone call. And by the time I finished that phone call, I hung up, looked out the window and clouds. And I was all inspired to go out and put some meat on the smoker and do some grounding. And once I saw that, it just like my mood just dropped. And so here I am sitting in front of the computer in my study doing this live stream and not out grounding, by the smoker because it's just freezing now.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a hermit by nature, so this is way outside of my comfort zone. Well, you're doing fantastic, and we're all very glad to hear from you. But I hear you, and that's one of the reasons that that me and Lindy decided to do this show, because we were some of the people that would sit in the shadows, because
Mm.
you know
Blend
you
in with the wall.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a whole community out there, like none of us are alone. You're not alone. None of us are alone. We're all going through the same crap. And that's the illusion, that all these people are just killing it. you know?
Yeah.
It's like nobody's killing it. Everybody's got the same struggles, same fears, and everybody's in, like, another Jordan Peterson reference, but the only person we should be competing against is with ourselves. We just got to be trying to get healthier, tomorrow than we are today, basically.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
And all the meetings are as Zoom calls. So for the first year, I did not turn my camera on, and you'll see a lot of people with just a name on their screen. They don't turn the camera on at all because they don't feel comfortable. They don't want to be seen, and that's fine. There's no problem with that. You don't have to raise your hand or speak up if you don't want to. You can just sit and listen, and when you're ready to, you've got the opportunity to ask questions or do whatever. It's great if you can get involved in the community and ask your questions. That's what you're there for. But if you're not comfortable, there's no pressure either. So
100%. And definitely when you join up and you see us in one of the calls, say hi and let us know.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. You don't have to turn your camera on either, whatever you want to do. But yeah, just say hi, wave at us. That'd be awesome. And by wave, I mean the emoji wave.
And you can send DMs as well in Zoom and just say,
For
hi,
sure.
it's Anna from your stream. I'd love to
Absolutely.
catch up. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be super fun. So let's see. I think since we got some more people in here, I'm going to reiterate the Hack Your Health. I'm going to grab that code again, copy. I'm so bad at this. I'm the worst YouTuber on the planet. I'm always like, I need to make more videos because I don't make videos, but I don't do nothing interesting. And then today I got a new meat grinder and I made up a bunch of bacon and meat and smoked a bunch of burgers and did some awesome fun stuff on the smoker today. And I didn't record a dang bit because I'm a horrible human being.
Well, I bought an ice cream maker because I wanted to try my egg colada recipe in the ice cream maker just for summer. That's how excited I am about summer. And it's still sitting in the box 2 weeks now, unpacked, and my daughter keeps saying, oh, when are you going to try it? And I'm like, oh, I need to do an unboxing video and then make it, do a video, but I need everyone to leave the house and I need to be in the mood to do a video. So it's been sitting in the box for 2 weeks on my kitchen table. And then I got my watch. And I'm like, I opened it up. I was super excited. I'm like, damn it, I should have did an unboxing and how I set it up and what I'm going to use it for. It's like, there's another missed opportunity. I'm just as bad. So
I know we're
terrible influences. Yeah.
I don't influence crap. That's what's terrible about it. I'm so bad at that. One of these days, but no, I feel you. I mean, I've been to 2 carnivore meetups now with Bella and the gangs, and I have yet to take one single picture. I haven't taken one picture at like 9 days of meetups now. I haven't taken one picture. I'm always like stealing hey, can you send me that picture? I get back. I'm so bad at it. I don't even think about it. This is not my, it's definitely not my wheelhouse to do this.
I think when you guys come over in November, I'm going to sit Bella down and say, Bella, I need you to teach us the ways of what you do. Like, I don't even know how to do a silly YouTube like a Instagram reel. Yeah. And we were there in Texas with the bats, and she's like squatting down doing a freaking short video. And I'm like, how do you do that? She goes, oh, I'll show you later. But then we got so busy that it didn't happen. So we might have to do that this time around.
For sure.
But she's so good.
For sure. Yeah. Bella, she's got it. Like she does it second nature. She is a social media ninja. Like Like if she sees me grab a piece of meat and walk toward a grill, she's like, "Hold on!" And she's gonna film it. I was like, "Well, oh yeah, I should be doing this. I have channels." she does not miss an opportunity, which is awesome if that's what you're gonna do. But yeah, I'm so bad at it. Linda, she goes, caught up now. Now you sound like she must have been listening to us in 1.5 speed. now her brain is clocked at light speed. Now we sound like we're talking in slow motion. That's funny. Oh, appreciate it.
Oh, the colada ice cream? Yeah, me too. I'm so hanging out for it, but yeah, it's not really the weather for it. So once that sun comes out and the blue sky, I'll definitely be making it.
For sure.
I'd
love to see you using the smoker, Todd and Lindy. Yeah, absolutely. I am going to do that.
So how about next week? We've got our anniversary show.
Oh, that's true. We do. It's our one. Okay.
What are we going to make? Put in the comments what you'd like us to make for our 1 year YouTube anniversary show.
That's a good plan. Yes. What do you want us to smoke for the 1 year anniversary? That'd be a great plan.
Nothing over 3 hours because that's as long as we've gotten. Yeah. So what can we cook? What are the options? Hamburgers?
Well, hamburgers, steak, but we could do something over 3 hours, but we would just have to do a follow-up video on it for like the next week or maybe make the prep. We could do the prep and then do the reveal or something during the live, we could do something like that. So we could record the prep, edit it, and then play it right here, under the share tab. So we could do that so they could see how we prepped it. And then they could sit there and watch it smoke, and we could do that. And then, something. We can make something work. We'll think about it. Tell us what you want to see. I know on Wednesday I have to smoke a prime rib for a meeting I'm going to, but I could do a prime rib. I could do a chuck roast. I could do a picanha, or not a chuck roast day. I wouldn't waste your time on a chuck roast. Picanha roast or a strip loin roast is what I was thinking. Or I could do a video making these are pretty good. These are smoky burgers. They're 33% bacon. I cut down the bacon because now that I have a grinder, I grind it up thinner and it works better. So 33% bacon, 66% brisket, ground brisket, and about 112% pickled jalapenos, believe it or not. But that's because I am a pickled jalapeno junkie.
Do you have your hamburger mold there?
I do.
So I could, yeah.
Oh, here? No, but it's in the dishwasher because I used it.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, link it to me.
Yeah, I will.
I love how they're all the same size. Yeah.
And these are the fatties. These are half-pound burgers each. They're no joke. They're thick ones for sure. But yeah, I'll show you that for sure. Question: if I join SPG, do they have any assistance for CFS? Mine is going away slowly, but if I can help it along, I wouldn't mind. What is CFS? Congestive
chronic fatigue syndrome.
Oh, chronic fatigue. I feel better, but still have a hard time with energy levels. And I probably asked you this before, Lindy, and forgive me, but have you tried iodine? And as far as chronic fatigue, Rebecca Heichman would be a good one to talk to. Dr. Hampton would probably be a good one to talk to. Dr. Kiltz might be a good one to talk to. And then there's just a bunch of people that have been going through this. Like, that was something that healed up for me really quickly. So it hasn't been something that I've had my ears peeled about, but I'm sure that there's people in there that have dealt with it,
Yeah, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head, but definitely Rebecca Heichman. I think it's fantastic. She's such a wealth of knowledge. And she comes into SBG regularly for chats. So,
absolutely. That's 100% fact. Love you both. Even if you aren't doing anything, you're doing so much. Just putting yourselves out there like this helps so many of us. Oh, thank you so much. That's so very kind. We're gonna try to do better. we're just
working on it. Yeah, we have a lot of plans. It's just trying to find time, and being in different time zones. Like, we are restricted to where we can meet up to organize stuff, and
I gotcha.
Nice to have Michael back on board too.
For
He's
sure.
been struggling a bit.
100%.
Get the team back.
For sure. Get the band back together. Bella has it down to an art. That is a fact.
Yeah,
Bella's a video
it's
and
the
ninja.
machine.
Yes. I have no idea whatever works for you. For sure. Smoke a chuck roast. Man, I said that was one of the things you didn't want to smoke. Like you can, but it's so boring. Chuck roasts are so boring in the smoker. It's like one of my least favorite things to do.
I could do it. Tomahawk. How do they take a long time?
No, I mean it depends on what size you get. The fatties that I get would take about 3 hours.
Yeah, ours are pretty disappointing compared to what you guys have got down there. Yeah, ours are really small.
Made a new fish patty tonight. Guess who's the guinea pig, Sherry?
What kind of fish did you? Salmon or sardines or?
Yeah. Yes, I take daily iodine, 2 drops. My body doesn't like me going overboard. I got you. Well, that's good. Yeah, I don't know. I think Rebecca Heichman would be a good one to talk to about that. And then also Dr. Phil might be able to help you about that in there. And then
Dr. Phil's in the SBG.
Yeah.
One of our he's
not
in most meetings.
Not the Dr. Phil, but a Dr. Phil that to me is way more impressive than the.
Yeah, he is the Dr. Phil. The other one's the imposter.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. Yeah, Phil's amazing. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. But all right. Yeah, we got to think about that. What would be fun? I don't know. Maybe we'll do a plethora of things. I might do, because I'm going to make some homemade sausages.
You made something, I think you had hamburgers or something on top, and then you had a roast, so everything was dripping onto the roast.
That was a
brisket. What was that?
That was a
brisket, was it? Okay.
Yeah, that was 17 or 18 pound prime brisket that I trimmed down to about 15 pounds. And then I did mustard wash that one because it wasn't for me. So I mustard washed it and I used Meat Church Holy Cow seasoning, which is delicious if you've never tried it. I can't eat a bunch of it because it's got pepper in it and it makes me it makes my nose run and my throat swell up because I can't do pepper. But it is delicious. Like if you can tolerate pepper, Meat Church Holy Cow seasoning is awesome. It's so good.
Do you know what I'd love to learn is Ashley's the jerky that he makes.
He's got a couple of videos on that. We could do that one too. You know why I haven't done that yet? I've tried, the one time it's hard to find the chuck roast or the rump roast at Costco, and I finally found one, and then I got busy and that went bad on me, and I fed it to Cosette because it was starting to get old, so she ate a whole rump roast. But I do have to do that one. That's going to be for sure the next one. But also, I was waiting until I got a meat slicer, so I want to get. That's the next thing, probably this winter or something. I'm going to try to get a meat slicer and a better grinder and a sausage press.
Well, my husband will be the meat slicer because I ain't investing in one.
Sure. Well,
so if you're listening, honey, sharpen those knives.
Oh, Charlie's got a good idea. I've never done this, Charlie. Todd, smoke a pork belly with the crispy skin side. Yummy, but don't let it
foam up.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about. I'd love to do that, Charlie. I've never done a pork belly, but my Traeger does get to 500 degrees, so I think I could actually make some crackling, and I think I could do that. Is that what you're talking about? Do like a pork belly with like or no? I might be thinking a side pork, huh, Charlie? No, I think pork belly is the same thing. I don't know. I just don't do much pork, but that would be fun because I always watch those. Flame up. There we go. Yeah, flame up. That'd be good. Yeah, and I don't think my pellet, like as long as I get the grease out, I don't think it'll flame up. I love that idea, Charlie. What temperature do you smoke pork belly at to get that kind of crackling? I always wondered if 500 degrees is enough to get that. I mean, 500 is hot, but I always wondered
you don't want to overcook the pork.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's so you could slow cook it and then finish it hard to get, finish it at a high heat to kind of get the crackling to crisp up. I know nothing about smoking, so I'm just going to make an uneducated suggestion. Can you smoke things like beef bacon? Yo, absolutely. I can make beef bacon. That would be a really good one too.
Yeah, pork belly.
Yes, pork belly. Okay, perfect. Lindy, you have invested years into that meat slicer.
No, right? It was a good investment.
Absolutely. She what did I say that one time? Her meat slicer was a good value, but it whines sometimes when it's working. Makes a whiny noise.
I hope he's not listening.
No, I said my niece does the vacuum sealing for me so when I cut steaks, I cut the steaks and she vacuum seals them, and we do a little tag team. And I took a picture of her one day because she was being particularly whiny that day. And people were asking me what kind of vacuum sealer I used. And so I took a picture of my niece and I said, "This is my vacuum sealer. It's a great value. But the only problem is it makes this whiny noise whenever it's working."
Love it.
500 1 hour, then take it down to 235 for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect,
I think when you do it in the oven, you cook it really high to start and then you lower it. So same concept.
That sounds really good. And then would you brine it first, Charlie? Would it make any sense to brine it, or has it got plenty of fat in it already? It probably does. That'd be really interesting. Hard rub the salt into the fat, and that'll help the fat crisp up. Okay, perfect. No, but that sounds really good. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so maybe I'll dry brine. Maybe I'll dry brine some beef bacon, smoke the beef bacon, and then I'll also do a pork belly. That'd be good.
All right. Let's collab and see. I know what I'm doing too, because I have no idea. You're gonna have to teach me.
No worries. No worries.
I need some practice for when Bella and Kerry and Adam come and visit too. Like, my meat is not as good as Ashley's meat.
Yeah, Ashley's meat is wonderful though.
And definitely a meat noob.
well, and Ashley's a hard act to follow. So
yeah.
I can't get pork belly with skin on it, so I just smoke it exactly like a brisket heavenly. Oh, that's awesome.
Actually, I noticed at a local butcher that you can just buy the rind. I could
really?
just buy that and the crackle and just do that. Because I'm not really a big fan of pork.
That'd be fun.
But I do love the crackle.
That'd be fun to try that.
I might get some.
Well, and then so this is a good question too. So when I watch videos on it before, I watch them take the pork belly skin, put it in boiling water for just a minute, flash boil it for just like 10 seconds. And then they take a sharp knife and they scrape off the top layer of the skin to get like the hairs and stuff off the skin, and then they salt brine it into the skin and they let it sit overnight on the skin side. And then I was wondering if dry brine on the other side would help. And then they cook it, and that sounds like when it gets that crazy crunchy where they it swells up like that, and when they just, oh man, those things look good. I think they call it chicharrones or whatever. Truss a whole chicken with string and rub the salt and get the best chicken skin ever. Ooh, that sounds good.
I'm sorry, I don't eat birds because I've got 2 parrots and I just feel a bit I can't eat birds.
I don't eat chicken either, but when we had the Carnivore crisps in Texas, the chicken skins were good. They're one of my favorites in the Carnivore crisp eggs.
Yeah, well, they don't look like birds, so it's okay. I can't tie little legs together.
For sure.
I can't do it. Yeah, I'm a freak. It's all right. But anyway.
For sure. Pork belly in the oven. I dry it as well. Rub it with lard. Put Maldon salt all over it. That
Nice.
sounds good. I throw it in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius and check on it about every hour or so, and then 30 minutes per pound. Okay, I got you. That's awesome. I'll try to convert that. Well, yeah, I don't know. The worst that'll happen is that it'll be an epic fail, and I'll have to dig another hole in the backyard to bury a piece of meat. But it'll make for good content because it'll either be a heck of a blooper, like when Ashley put his breakfast fatty on the ground.
That was so funny. Yeah, yeah. You also got your little basset hound friend. You could always feed him if it doesn't turn out.
I'm starting to worry about him. He hasn't tried to rob me blind in a few weeks. I wonder if he's okay.
Oh, no, it's
Yeah,
probably full. It's like a little keg now.
he should be. That's for sure. Now the stray cats have moved in, taken over the neighborhood, making him
Oh
mad.
dear.
I used to eat so much chicken before, but since starting carnivore, it doesn't taste as good to me anymore. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just got grossed out by chicken when I found out what's wrong with it and how it gives my dog seizures like immediately. I'm like, not doing that. And it makes me not feel good. Like I don't know. I feel like when I eat chicken, I feel the same way I do when I eat seed oils. It's just not good. And they're Franken chickens now, So, and I mean, if it gives my dog can eat chicken and in 4 hours she'll have a seizure. So it's like, not doing.
Yeah. I find chicken's very dry anyway. When I used to have it, I never liked it. Sometimes I'd have the wings, but only because it's got a lot of salt on it and it's tasty. And that's really all I liked. But yeah,
I'll
I've
tell you
stopped.
what. If you want to fight with people though on Instagram, you tell them that chicken's dry, or that I don't drink coffee anymore. And those are the two biggest things people fight me on Instagram, is that I don't drink coffee. Like I get it. I love coffee, and for a lot of people, it doesn't hurt you at all. And I'm more power to you. Just for me, it screws up my sleep and my stomach and digestion. So I can't get away with it. But let me tell
Yeah.
you, if it didn't screw up my sleep and it didn't hurt my stomach digestion, I'd be drinking it by the gallons because I love coffee. But
Yeah, see, I have an iron gut. I can eat and drink anything and it doesn't affect me, which is a curse because that means I can eat and drink anything and it doesn't affect me.
right, exactly.
So I'd love to be able to eat, plants and then have such a bad reaction that I don't want to eat that anymore, but it doesn't work for me. And that, I don't know, I hate it. It's definitely a curse for me. So I
Well,
do love coffee, but I choose not to drink it every day, although I have been drinking it every day for the last, I think, 2 months. But I haven't had any today, and I probably won't. So I'm just going to try and cut back because I want to cut back, not because I need to. It doesn't affect me. So,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough that most things affect me, so I just don't eat them. It's
Oh,
not on my,
lucky.
for
Yeah. I
sure.
wish I was like that.
Yeah, that is a kind of a blessing in a way. Well, I just
Mm.
thought it was funny because my most viral reel on Instagram was just a clip that my editor took of me talking about how I found carnivore because I was tired of eating dry chicken, and so I was looking up sous videing stuff. That thing went. I don't know. I mean, for me, it went viral because I don't get many views, but it got like 150,000 views or something, and
That's huge.
it was all because I had insulted the chicken lovers, and they all wanted to tell me what a terrible person I am for making dry chicken and that I'm doing it wrong. It was hilarious. I was laughing so hard. I was like, these people are so mad that I insulted their chicken game.
Wow.
It's pretty funny. So yeah, if you want to get some views, go ahead and talk smack about chicken. Apparently, that the chicken eaters are passionate about their chicken. I hated hamburger all summer. I just started eating them again this week with no problems. Just in time, I stopped eating pork because of histamine problems I'm having. Was running out of options. Absolutely. And well, first of all, I don't know if you saw these, but you probably did. But these are 30% bacon, about 1/3 bacon, 2/3 ground beef, whatever one you want. I use ground brisket on these. And because the reason why I hated hamburger patties was because they're so dry, you know.
Mm.
But when you make them with 30% bacon in them, about 1/3 bacon, the bacon fat renders down in here, and these things stay super juicy. And then I found that I can tolerate pickled vegetables, and not just any pickled vegetables, pickled jalapenos. So then I also stuff a ton of pickled jalapenos in these, and they are just super flavorful. And then I smoke them. That's why they look red, is because that's red smoke casing on it. But
Yep.
these things are delicious. And so that is my favorite burger. And that, because when I was doing my fast here recently, I got kind of meat aversion, and that thing's pulling me out of the meat aversion because I can't eat steak right now either. I'm not feeling it right now. I've gone from 3 to 4 coffees a day to having 1 or 2 on the weekends. Weirdly, this just happened. I didn't try to cut it down. And water, I hated water before. Now I love it. Who am I? Right? Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Good job.
No, I 100% understand where you're coming from. It's crazy. But, I like that was how I quit nicotine. I quit a 26-year nicotine habit, and I didn't plan on quitting. Like I just didn't
Yeah.
want anymore,
If you just naturally, that progression happens as you move on. You just, I had coffee all the way from the start, and then just suddenly I decided, oh no, I don't think I want coffee anymore, and then I just stopped, weaned back on my own. But I didn't plan to do it; it just happened. And you're just listening to your body. So great job on that.
For sure. Can't eat steak? Huh? Yeah, I know. Trust me. Trust me. It ain't gonna last long. It's my body's just being on me right now because I over fasted a bit. But when I do that, when my metabolism crashes, and I did also only eat steak and egg yolks for, I don't know, the majority of like 7, 8 months in a row. So I got a little bit of meat aversion from doing the same thing when my metabolism decided to crash. So I had to reprime. And when I did that, I just needed a change of flavor. But not to worry, because I'm already craving some ribeye again. I was looking at one the other day. So that only lasts 2 weeks, but it's coming back. But yes, every once in a while, when you eat so much steak and you don't veer, your body can be like, can we have something else for a minute? So, for sure. But I understand that is blasphemy. So, oh, they fixed the beef bacon patties. Awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, I really like them. And what I didn't realize is that when I was smoking them, well, honestly, I just got lazy and I cut the bacon too big the last time in too big of pieces. And when I smoked them, the bacon was kind of chewy because I didn't smoke as a gentler cooking, where I didn't have to worry about that so much in the air fryer. But I've rectified that with a meat grinder. And now I'm grinding down the bacon to the same size as the ground beef, and now it's working fantastically too. So,
Yeah, I'm a bit lazier because I actually went to the butcher's and they have it pre-made, so pork and beef together, 50-50, I think it is.
yeah,
I hope it is. But I just bought that, and that's what I'm going to use.
yeah. For me, luckily, it's usually just steak when I get meat aversion. For whatever reason, my body's just tired of steak, and because that's what I eat the vast majority of, and it's usually New York's or ribeyes, and I eat a ton of them. And so my body gets that or brisket. I've been doing a lot of brisket lately too. Um, but that's what my body got sick of, was just those 3 things over and over again. However, when you mince up beef and like bacon is a hyper palatable food to me. Eggs are hyper palatable food to me, and cheese is hyper palatable food. So when my metabolism crashes and my appetite goes away and I don't want to eat and things don't taste good, I have to throw back in the most hyper palatable carnivore foods I can get, which is always going to be dairy. And then I even there's some seasonings and sauces that I can tolerate. Like I can tolerate some horseradish And so I'll make like a horseradish cream sauce. It's really good. Recently I found a mustard that's a horseradish mustard that's really clean. And I add even more horseradish to that horseradish mustard, and it makes a really good sauce for me. So I have to eat those things because honestly, even eating those, I've only been eating about 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds of meat a day right now, just because when your appetite or when your metabolism tanks, your appetite tanks, and mine did for sure. But I'm bringing it back pretty good now, and so I'm going to really hit this next week hard with it. But I have to eat the more palatable foods, or else, or else. Like yesterday, I got busy and I only ate 6 meat sticks yesterday, like 6 small meat sticks, and I just wasn't feeling it. But I didn't have these burgers ready. That's why I'm like, okay, I got to get on to priming, take it serious, and make these burgers up. And so these did the trick. I'll eat a couple pounds of these tonight before I go to bed for sure.
Yeah, I used to eat porterhouse steaks all the time for like I think the first 9 months, and then now I can't even. I just look at a porterhouse. I was like, no, I don't want it. So I tried different cuts. I now eat Scotch fillet, but also just changing up the way you cook things. Like I do a lot of slow cooked meats now, or in the smoker, not always in the air fryer. Just try different ways of cooking it. That also helps get through meat aversion.
100%. All right. I'm gonna try beef bacon patty tip. Sounds delicious. Yeah, they are good. They are really good actually, and it's just that fat just helps the beef not be dry. It's so helpful.
I'm from MD. Where's MD? So I get sick of beef. Seafood balls are always there for me.
Yeah, Maryland. Yeah, my ex-wife's from Maryland, actually, Elkton, and I'm just a mountain guy, and I didn't grow up. So you can remind me, what is that famous blue crab shack? I think it's off like the Chesapeake Bay Boardwalk or something. I ate there, and it was like a delicacy of blue crab. And I'm not gonna lie, they put Old Bay on everything. And it was super salty, and then I had to crack all these crabs with my hands, and I got these little cuts on my fingers from cracking the crabs. And then the Old Bay got in them, and my fingers were burning, and I accidentally rubbed one of my eyes, and my eyes were burning because I'm from the mountains, and it was really hot, and so I was sweating. So I rubbed my eye, and I got Old Bay in my eye. My eye was burning. My fingers were burning. Had little crab shell cuts all over them, and when I was done with it, I got a little chunk of meat about that big. I'm like, this is not worth it. No wonder you guys are so skinny here. You guys have to go through heck to get a little bit of this puffy crab meat.
It's a workout just to get your food.
Yeah, I'm like, I lost a pint of blood and crab shell paper cuts. I've got Old Bay salt in all my wounds. I'm crying from my right eye right now because I rubbed my stinking eye. And for that pain, I got about an ounce of blue crab meat. I don't understand how you guys eat around here. And it was something like you got like 20 crabs for like $40 or something. This was like in 2009 or something. And I was like, I could get a couple really nice porterhouses for $40. Like, why am I eating this? They look like sea spiders too. Like they're overgrown spiders. I don't know. I appreciate that everybody grows up on the sea likes them, but I'm a prairie guy. I like inland animals. I don't like cod liver or sardines. Tried them both. Today would rather eat smoked salmon. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a
Acquired taste.
yeah, for sure.
So you got the MD crab initiation. We typically go through that as children.
Okay, so you know exactly what I'm talking about then. I was, because my wife was so excited to take me there, and she's like, oh, it's a tradition. And it was I forget what the crab hut was called, crab shack, crab hut, something or other. It's like Woody's, I think it was called Woody's Crab Hut or something. Very famous place, I guess. Maryland blue crabs. It was a big thing. And yeah, it was all hyped up. I'm like, I guess I'm about to eat the best thing in the world. Anyhow, I don't know, 20 minutes later, I'm bleeding and I'm in pain. My eye hurts. And I get a little tiny piece of meat it was all right. I mean, it was soft, sweet, fishy tasting stuff, and I'm like, ah, and yeah, I don't know. And then also, then my wife has to crack all my crabs for me because I'm doing such a terrible job at it. And then there's no dude wants his wife to have to break all his crabs open because I'm doing it like an idiot. So yeah, it was not my forte. But and then I ended up ordering a ribeye at the Crab Hut, so which apparently is blasphemy. But and also wasn't they didn't cook it right. But I needed something with some dang meat in it. Those crabs didn't have any. I'm in Maryland near Ocean City. Love seafood. That's awesome. You know, and I'm sure if I was like I totally get it. Like if you guys grew up in the mountains, you'd like beef. And if I grew
Yeah.
up by the ocean, I'd like seafood, but it's not my thing. It's not my thing. When I see people pull out these soft shell blue crabs, to me they look like giant barn spiders. Like,
Yeah, I don't like to work for my food. It just even prawns with the shells on. Like if they're re-shelled and
yeah,
deveined and all that, not a problem. I love it. I'll eat it. But if I have to do it myself, I'd rather not.
absolutely.
Mm.
Made fish dip with chives and onions, cream cheese, a bit of spicy hot sauce with a tiny bit of spicy mustard and lemon stevia drops. Nice. I cannot do anything from the onion family. I found out without swelling up for sure. So if you ever have any inflammation problems, that was a tip from Phil. Because I know when I have chives, good lord, I cannot believe the inflammation response I have from chives. So be careful with those. Because it turns out a lot of people are very allergic to chives and just don't know it. So, but that sounds very delicious. So meat aversion is actually flavor exhaustion from the cuts of meat you eat the most often. Your taste buds get hyper bored. You know, I couldn't tell you what it is. I think here's my experience with it. You know, you can call it, you know, I think what you're explaining there is actually called palate fatigue. And that's what I always thought it was. Now, some people will make a case that there's two different things for meat aversion. And here's how I kind of differentiate the two is that I think you can get palate fatigue from eating the same thing over and over again. I think you get meat aversion when you go through like a metabolic change or an oxalate dumping or a histamine response, and you happen to have been eating that same food. I think your body's just like, well, until we sort this out, don't eat that thing that you've been eating over and over and over again. That's what I think it is. I think it's your body saying, all right, we needed this for a long time, but now some wires got crossed here. We have a problem going on. Stop eating that right now. You know, I think that's what meat aversion is. That's how I think about it. So it's just time to change it up a little bit. And when that's happening, and what happened to me was I'd done a bunch of fasting, and my metabolism started to crash. And so I think what I was eating when I was doing those fasts, and when my metabolism crashed, I think my body said, we're not eating any of that. So I just had to open up my appetite with things that are more hyper palatable, you know. All right. That's why I love crayfish. Big, and you can chop the tail in half and chow down. Crawfish are awesome for sure. I caught the world record crayfish, I'm pretty sure, in a Cherry Creek here in Bozeman. I was fishing Cherry Creek. I was walking around. I wish I still had the pictures of it. I was walking around. I found a crayfish the size of a lobster. And what was crazy is it had this beautiful blue tail on it, and it was in fresh water, which maybe all of them are in fresh water. For some reason, I thought crayfish were saltwater, but I don't. I'm in the mountains. What do I know? And I don't know how a freaking crayfish at all got in this freshwater stream, but he was in there. And it was such a shallow as Cherry Creek, and it was such shallow water and so clean that I was walking around as fly fishing, and this little dude had his little pincher sticking up, and he was on a defensive position, and he was mad at me, and I thought it was freaking lobster because I don't know better. And so I reached down and had a pair of pliers, and I picked him up, and that dude was like that long. and his claw span was like that wide. He was like a lobster with a beautiful blue tail. And I took him and I brought it down to my buddy was just down the creek from me, and he's from the south. And I'm like, Brad, what the heck is this? He goes, that's a crayfish the size of a lobster. How's there crayfish here? And so, I took it home with me. I put it in a fish tank, which is when I found out crayfish don't actually breathe underwater.
Oh no.
Well, he lived, but I'll tell you in a second, but I sent it in and they said that that crayfish aren't trophy fish, they're scavenger fish, but they can get up to 12 inches. But that's like one of the records. He was close to like a record crayfish if they actually kept track of that type of thing, but they don't because they're not a trophy fish. But it was really interesting. And they figured that somebody brought it up here and threw it in the water. It was somebody's pet or something, and they just let it go in the water. And that's how I ended up with it. And it had a broken tail. That's why it was fighting me, because it couldn't swim off with his tail. But I put him in a fish tank, and I didn't know nothing about him. So I just thought, well, he's in the water when I found him. So I put him in water. And that little dude spent the entire night taking every rock and pebble, built a ramp out of the fish tank so that he could breathe. And when I came out, he had spent his whole night taking about 15,000 little tiny pebbles, making a ramp out of the corner of the water, and crawled up there so he could breathe. And he had his little nose out of the water going, breathing in the corner. So I had to look it up. I'm like, that's strange. He wanted out of here so bad he was willing to move 15,000 pebbles to break out of this tank. Wonder what's going on with him. And I looked it up. I was like, oh, they have to get out of the water to breathe. That's what was going on with him.
Poor thing must have been exhausted.
That dude had to hold his breath until he moved 15,000 pebbles to make a ramp out of there. I was laughing.
Oh dear.
Funny. Yeah. I'm from Rhode Island. Spent my first 50 years there. Missed the fresh seafood, I bet. We had swordfish steaks, big as ribeyes grilled, and they were spectacular. I bet that'd be good. And I should say that I do like cod and halibut. Those are delicious. I think it is a form of rejection. I think so. I've never really looked it up, but that's how I look at it. Mike doesn't like any meat off bones. Oh, I gotcha. It's kind of fun. You should get a tomahawk, and he might change his mind. It's really fun to take that giant bone and just go caveman style on it. Our crayfish is what you call a lobster. Comes from the ocean. Oh, I gotcha. That makes sense. Crayfish are freshwater. Okay. Well, then that makes sense. I wasn't sure how he got there. Off bones. Not in Australia.
Yeah.
Swordfish is so good. Never had swordfish. I like catfish. Catfish is really good, but man, I like it. I can't eat it because I've never had it not fried, but fried catfish is so good. That's one thing I actually miss is fried catfish.
Apparently there's some really nice fish restaurants in Melbourne. I'll have to look them up, and maybe we could all go and have a fish meal one night. If you're interested.
Yeah, might. I'm not eating kangaroo.
No, I won't eat a kangaroo either. They're too cute.
That's so
But
funny.
I have heard that they've got crocodile jerky, so I'm actually thinking I might look it up and see if I can get some.
And that maybe it's just I've had frog legs, I've had turtle, I've had snake, and they all taste the same to me. So I've never had crocodile or alligator or whatever, but I just feel like all those reptiles taste the same to me, and I just don't like the taste to them. They all taste the same to me.
I've not tried them, but I would try the crocodile, but not kangaroos. It's weird, isn't it? How we're very selective with what we eat.
Well, it is. I mean, it's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had Rocky Mountain oysters, and I actually like them. And I had rattlesnake, and I had frog legs, and the frog legs are just weird. It's a little. I mean, they cut them off at the butt, and there's a little butt holding two frog legs together on your plate, and I'm like, oh, that's not exactly appetizing, and all these things. But all the reptiles just taste the same to me, And so the only way I can imagine them tasting good is they try to season the heck out of them, And then the seasonings are so strong, and the seasonings usually aren't good for you. And so I'm just like, yeah, I'm not a fan of reptiles.
Oh, I hear crocodile tastes like chicken, but I couldn't tell you because I haven't tried it. So.
I think only people that don't know what chicken tastes like think crocodile tastes like
Oh,
chicken.
okay. Maybe we should do a Instagram short on it and see what we get.
I've never had crocodile, but snake and turtle and frog legs and
Oh,
all that stuff, it all tastes like snakes smell. They have that musty, cucumbery smell to them.
yeah, no,
That's
that would turn me off.
yeah, and that's how
Yeah,
they taste. And I'm like, blah, I did not care for them.
yeah. I want. Yeah, that I
Oh,
think
sorry,
that
I
was a
was on the
good
wrong one.
point.
I wonder.
Yeah,
Yeah, that absolutely could be. You could just no longer need
yeah.
that. I don't think that's the case in meat because if it was, why can I eat hamburger and what am I getting out of hamburger and bacon that I'm not getting out of ribeye or something? But that is a good point. Maybe it just doesn't know at the time. Maybe it's willing to try it. Maybe it's so cued into the ribeye and stuff that it knows that it's got its fill of that and it's not quite sure on the bacon and stuff. So that could be it for sure.
Yeah. It's like me with the porterhouse. I couldn't eat that, but I was fine with Scotch fillet. Well, it's still steak, but it's the flesh is within inside the Scotch fillet, whereas on the porterhouse it's on the outside. So it's a different texture when you eat it. So maybe it's a textural thing.
Yeah, it could be for sure.
Hmm.
It's interesting. I've only had a problem eating twice on carnivore now, and both times the cheese has always been dairy, like sour cream and cheese and bacon always pulls me through it because it's like I have a hard time not eating too much of that stuff. So you just add that back in a little bit. But this time is the most, even with the cheese and the stuff. I'm still only eating a couple pounds of meat a day, just because that the metabolism really did slow down. So it's going to take a minute to bring it back up for sure. If I ever make it over to the States, Maine would be top of the list to try lobster. I don't mind lobster
Nice.
at all. Lobster's pretty good.
Mm.
Kangaroo is
Yeah,
very mean.
I've heard that. Yeah, it's quite delicious, but you have to cook it quickly and on a high heat. Yeah, I hear it's very hard to cook
Wow,
well.
that's interesting. I've never had it. You recently discovered I don't love French fries. That's interesting. I've never been a fry person though. I've never liked French fries. I've always been like a onion rings or mozzarella sticks or jalapeno poppers back in the day. Or I did used to like Arby's curly fries because of the seasoning. But yeah, everybody would be like, "Oh, these French fries are so good. McDonald's got the best fries." I'm like, I don't get it.
No, no. See, I used to love when they're like double fried, and then you've got the really crispy outside, and the
Yeah,
inside's really soft. And beer battered, I think they're called, or something
yeah,
like that. But I can't eat them with a lap band anyway because they get stuck. So that's a really good thing for me.
yeah, exactly. There's all kinds of stuff you can eat if you're starving that are not really palatable. I eat bugs, raw shellfish, worms.
Mm.
That's true. I guess it does depend on your need at the time. For
To be
sure.
honest, I'd probably eat a vegetable over bugs and worms.
For sure. For sure. I love French fry. Dipping sauce potato tastes like nothing. It helps me not miss any. Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100% on the potatoes. Now, yeah, and it is all about how you fix the potatoes. The potato is just a vessel for what you're going to do with it. I used to make I shouldn't I don't want to trigger anybody, but I used to make the best, I would call them twice baked mashed potatoes, and they're incredible. Like incredible. But if I told you what's in them, your mind would explode because there's so much crap in them. But I mean, I would make like 5 pounds of potatoes. When I'd leave the skins on them, I like the skins in them, and I would mash them up, and then I would take heavy whipping cream. I'd take cream cheese. I'd take full 2 full sticks of butter. I'd take Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning and put in there. And I would take chives, and then I would take like a pound and a half of bacon fried up, dump the bacon grease in the potatoes, and also the little crispy bacon chunks. And I would mix that all together in a mixer, and it would almost make like a dough. And then I would put it back in into muffin cups in the oven, put sharp cheddar cheese on it, and I'd bake it. And those were the best twice baked mashed potatoes you've ever had in your life. And that's one of the things that still occasionally, when I remember what those tasted like, that still pop in my head. But it wasn't for the potatoes. The potatoes were just a starchy glue that held all the other flavor together.
I was going to say, if you take the potato, the chives, and the ranch out, you got yourself a perfect carnivore meal.
Exactly. Exactly. It was so good. Oh, they're friends, not food, for sure.
Oh, we'll keep your pets away from Rick.
You're going to have to say that word. I don't know what that is.
Australia has the something jello. I don't know. One of the deadliest creatures alive, and it's so small it's nearly invisible. Okay. Iriku Jandi.
That is reason 12,013. I'm not going into the ocean ever.
Gosh, no. Yeah. We can go put our feet in. We just paddle.
That is scary, Crystal. Well prepared gator is delicious. Got to know what you're doing, though. Used to live in Panama, and the neighbors could cook. I bet so. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if that's what you got available to you, you probably know exactly how to make it taste good. But
yeah.
Oh,
how's your daughter? I just spoke to a great eye surgeon. Ian, he's fighting to change the dietary guidelines. Not sure he can help. I'll definitely love to have a chat with him. So yeah, I'll reach out to you. Yeah, my daughter's okay. She's been declared blind now, so she won't be getting her sight back. She still has a few surgeries, more just corrective, but yeah, she won't be getting her sight back. So it's just a matter of learning to live with her new disability, and yeah, we'll get there. So thanks for asking.
For sure. McDonald's used to use tallow, but they switched to vegetable oils and became bland. Ah, that makes sense. They weren't killing us fast enough.
Oh, I haven't had McDonald's fries in a long time and not really interested. So good.
Yeah, my bad. I used to make those those were my fixins for barbecue, because I used to make a mean baked beans and a mean twice baked mashed potatoes, and those were always the showstoppers. Side dishes. They were so good. I would take Bush's baked beans and you put them in there, a couple of cans of them, and then it would be blackstrap molasses, brown sugar, bacon, mustard, chipotle peppers, and adobo sauce, an Anaheim chili, a poblano chili, some jalapenos diced up, and I think that was it. And then I'd take it out and put it on the smoker for about 4 hours. And those things were so good. They're just candied, spicy bacon beanie. It was so good. Put those together. They were awesome. It's so easy to make food unbelievably delicious when you can add unlimited amounts of poisonous sugar on them.
I'm on day 7 of carnivore, and I had a bad day today, burning stool, and I'm holding on to water, not excreting enough.
Well, that can definitely happen. Are you eating a bunch of salt? Are you eating a bunch of fat? And I mean, on day 7, it's just too early to tell too. Like, you're just going to be going through some withdrawals, some dumping, some chemical or some cleansing, some dumping, detoxing. I mean, there's all sorts of things that happen in the first 5 weeks. But are you eating a bunch of fat lately? That'd be interesting to know.
Yeah, I don't have a gallbladder. It took me 6 months to, I had disaster pants pretty bad for the first 6 months. It was really awful, but it did fix itself in the end. If you can just push through, it's just your body detoxing, getting rid of all the crap
For
out of
sure.
your system. Yeah, it's hard, but you can do it.
For sure. Anna, this reminds me of a time where I was working at I'm an electrician and I was young, and I was working at an old schoolhouse that was like 100 years old, and they were wanting me to dig in a 50 amp feed going under the schoolhouse in the crawl hole out back to a new well. And so I'm out back behind, and for the record, I hate snakes. I hate snakes so bad. It's one of the worst. I can't stand them. Yeah, I'm out back digging a trench from this pedestal to the well, going under to the schoolhouse into the crawl hole so I can get across this crawl to the other side to the meter. And as I'm digging, a giant 6-foot snake crawls right in front of me and goes right through the access door into the crawl hole that I have to go crawl into. And I'm like losing my mind now because I'm like, anyhow, this lady comes out that owns the schoolhouse. And I said, a snake just went in the dang crawl hole that I got to go into. And there's no room in this crawl. And so I'm not having a good day. And this lady looks at me and she goes, oh, that's okay. It was probably just a bull snake. They harmless. The rattlers stay across the road. And she points to a gravel road that's like from here to about 75 feet away. And I'm like, why? Do you guys have like a reservation for the rattlers over there that they can't cross? Like, do the rattlesnakes know that they're not allowed on this side of the road? Like, how did you come up with this agreement with the rattlesnakes that I'm supposed to be certain that that snake that just went in there is a harmless snake that you didn't even see, and you want me to go into a dark crawl hole and crawl around and pull wire when I know a 6-foot snake just went in there, and I'm supposed to be okay with it because you just said that the poisonous snakes don't cross that road. And I just want to know, how did you come up with this agreement with those snakes? So, and I can't help but say, when you say that the poisonous jellyfish are on the other side, I would like to know the agreement and how it's enforced with the jellyfish. That's not solace to me. I'm still not going to be going in the water anytime soon. Yeah, a lot of salt.
A lot of salt, yeah.
For sure. Governor says we can make addictive drugs. Jokes on them. I got my fix at the grocery store for sure. Yeah, it is the most addictive drug for sure. I had to step into the fat slowly. Started with butter and white chicken. Took quite some time to get a decent amount of fat without disaster pants. Yeah, 100%. Right? I know. It was not a good day. Now, I am not ashamed to say that I was working with a guy named Phil Varner at the time. And Phil was a little guy, but he didn't mind snakes. I hated snakes. I had made up my mind, like, I ain't going in that crawl hole. I will dig a trench around this building and go on the outside where I could see everything before I get in that crawl hole now. But Phil, he put his headlamp on. He's a little dude. He put his headlamp on. He had the wire in one hand, and he had a claw hammer in the other. And he goes, I'll do it. So Phil got in there, and he pulled that wire across, but he got out of there quick. When he came out of there, he goes, there's snake tracks everywhere in there.
Oh, gee.
I was like, Phil, and I told him, you don't have to do this. We can dig around this building. Phil didn't want to dig around the building. I said, we'll dig around this building and we'll go on the outside. I ain't getting in that hole. And he's like, oh, all right, I'll go in there. But Phil was a trooper. I cannot believe he went in there. That's what nightmares are made out of for me. But Phil did it. Phil did it. I was not doing it. I was going to dig around that building for sure before I ever went through that crawl. Yeah, it would have taken 5 more hours of hand digging, but I would have happily done it rather than go through that crawl.
I just Googled and found out an electrolyte imbalance can cause fluid retention. It makes a little sense now.
Well, there's so many things that can cause fluid retention. So
Mm.
an electrolyte imbalance can be too many electrolytes, or it could be not enough electrolytes, or it could be too many of one kind of electrolyte. For instance, a lot of times what people think is sodium retention is actually low potassium, because your body won't flush out the salt if it's also going to flush out the potassium and you're low on it. So a lot of times to get rid of salt, which is holding back fluid, you actually have to take potassium and magnesium. So a lot of that can be it. But also taking too much electrolytes can cause it sometimes. But the best, you just got to give it some time. If your body's stressed out, if it's going through some things, it's just like you got to get into it 5-6 weeks before you're going to really even start to be able to put your finger on any of those things right away, you know?
And how much dairy? Do you have any dairy? Because I know cheese and any dairy inflames me. I get very swollen legs and ankles when I have cream or cheese. So I have to stay away from dairy. So
For
that
sure.
could be another thing. Yeah, there's lots of things that it could be.
Absolutely.
Just, yeah.
Yeah, the Indiana Jones trench, that's no joke. And yeah, that Indiana Jones, when they cut open the pregnant snake on the table and all the little baby snakes came out, that gave me nightmares as a kid. I think that's where I got my snake phobia from. That was the grossest thing ever. 7 days isn't long, depending on what type of diet you came from. It could just be a changeover. Yeah, it could be a whoosh. It could be a lot of things. It's just too early to tell.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's a true story. I hated that. That whole valley was covered in snakes. Gosh, I hated that. I hate snakes so bad, and I ended up on a lot of jobs with snakes on them, and I really hated it. I ended up just down the road on that job. There's another cabin. We were there's another cabin that we were wiring. Me and Phil again had to go down there, and we dug a trench. We were putting on a new 200 amp service on a new cabin, and I got there, and this was right after the schoolhouse, like a month after the schoolhouse. And dang it, I could smell the snakes have this particular smell. They kind of smell like cucumbers when they're around a snake den. It's kind of this musty cucumber smell. And I'm smelling snakes, and I'm like, it's probably just in my head from that thing down the road here. I'm probably just, and we're waist deep in a trench, and there's high grass and weeds and crap around us. So my head's on a swivel because I'm nervous. And we put this dang service in, and we got all in and backfilled, and we're ready to go. And so we go to tell the carpenters we're done, we're heading out of there. And we walk into the garage, and they got 3 skin rattlers in the garage, and they have the skins all stretched out on boards, letting them dry out because they're saving the skins. And I'm like, I thought I smelled snakes. Where'd you get those? And he points to this wood pile that was 15 feet from where we were making, or from where we're working. He goes, "Oh, that wood pile's full of rattlesnakes." And I was like, "Why didn't you say something, you psychopath? Like, why didn't you tell me?" I was out there working all freaking day and could smell these things. You didn't think to tell me that the wood pile is loaded with rattlesnakes? And then we went up to Great Cliff like a year later, and they're like, "Oh, we got this landscaping job out here to do." And I'm like, "Okay." And there's snakes everywhere. Everywhere I looked, there's rattlesnakes. And they finally, it was so bad, we worked out there for like, I don't know, 5 weeks. We had to dig in like 250 landscape lights all over this giant property up at Great Cliff. And snakes just everywhere. We saw like a 6-foot bull snake eating like a 5-foot rattlesnake one day, which is great. The bull snakes are your friends because they eat the bad snakes. But we went in the great room of the house, and there's 2 baby rattlesnakes that had slithered to the door and were in the great room of the house when we were in there. It was crazy. And so they had to call on reptile control, and they found a den about 350 yards up the hill behind this house. They pulled 1,700 rattlesnakes out of that den. 1,700.
And you're scared to come to Australia?
Oh, I hate this. We not look. This is weird. Because most of Montana, well, if you get above about 5,000 feet, there's no rattlesnakes. But these are just in areas where we had to travel that were just below that, and snakes everywhere. Good Lord, I hated those things.
No, thank you.
No, I'd be driving into that Great Cliff Ranch in the morning, and I'd run over 3 or 4 rattlesnakes bathing on the road every morning. It was crazy how many snakes are out there. Yuck.
Yeah. Yeah, cheese and cream cheese. Try cutting back on those or taking those out of your diet and see if that makes a difference with your fluid retention. It does for me. Butter, some people are okay with butter. I seem to be okay with butter. So you could replace that. But yeah, try the cheese and cream cheese.
For sure. Very good information. Thanks for coming. And we did make it. Hi. Hi, you made
Hello.
it right at the end. we're just closing up. We just hit 3 hours and 1 minute. I used Dr. Berg's electrolyte, just bought some Topo Chico, thought I'd add my electrolytes for flavor. Don't do it. Yeah. Okay. So you gotta be real careful when you're adding that to a carbonated drinks, because it will be Coke and Mentos. But what you can do is so I used to do this. You take the Topo Chicos and you dump it into a pitcher, right? And then you put ice in the pitcher in the Topo Chicos. Then you add the electrolyte powder, and I would add lemon juice back then when I was getting off soda, and that keeps it from being one of those bubbling volcano fountain things that your kids made at school. For sure. But yeah, that is funny. I've done that before and ended up wearing it for sure.
Yeah, I think we've all done that tomorrow.
Different states as well, the different countries. I'm more likely to fight a crab or a seagull seafood than a snake rattle, for sure. For sure. You know what was crazy is we went out to the Chesapeake Bay Lighthouse when I was there, and I saw what looked like a weird dog to me popped out of the bushes, and I'm trying to look at it and make sense of what the thing is. I'm like, what the heck is that? And she's like, that's a deer. Don't you have deer in Montana? I'm like, yeah, we do, but that's like a shrimp deer. That's like a midget deer. It was like 1/6 of the size of our deer. It was like this little itty bitty. I'm like, is that a baby? She's like, no, that's pretty full size deer. I'm like, what is going on here? That's not a deer where I come from. That thing is a shrimp. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, for sure. We've all definitely done that for sure.
See you, Laura. Thanks for coming.
Appreciate it. All right. I think we made it. We were 3 hours.
Did. Yeah.
All right. Definitely let us know in the comments on this video when it posts what you want us to smoke. I think we got somewhat of an idea. And we'll do that next Sunday for our 1 year, 700 plus and counting down YouTube
anniversary.
YouTube extravaganza anniversry.
Sounds great.
Yeah, you guys have put up with this for a year. I don't know how you did it.
And Michael put up with you too for a year. So yeah, exactly. We should present him with a medal.
I put up with Michael. He's put me in tights. He's made me a cherub. He turned me into a bobblehead doll. He's making money off of making fun of me. That guy.
Oh, well, we love Michael. Hope you're feeling better, Michael.
Hope so. But all right. Well, thank y'all. Love y'all. And we will see you next time.
And see ya. Bye.
See ya. Bye.